All right, everyone. Toxic and Toxical are back. We're back. The two toxic brothers are back. Dumb and Dumber, the Dumb and Dumber version of soccer in the United States. The two toxic pundits on YouTube are back. This summer, Pete, actually, ever since we started both channels, we've never had a summer this big. We had the World Cup, which was during the winter.
Yeah.
Summer, this is
No.
as good as it gets, man. Are you
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah. I'm so ready. And it starts today. It starts today. There's about 2 months now of just nonstop American soccer, pretty much. So I'm super psyched. Super psyched.
So, for everyone that just tuned in, today it's the United States versus Colombia. We're going to talk about both teams in a second before the match starts. We have a lot to say about the U.S. lineup, which is really good. And we have a lot to talk about the Colombian lineup. That's also really good. It's a very good match that we're going to watch. It's a friendly. We're going to talk about what we're going to be looking at, what will be considered a successful game, an unsuccessful game. Brain fog. Didn't work for a second there. And then we'll do the live watch along here. The summers, we play Colombia today. We play Brazil on Wednesday, two friendlies. And then on the 20th, the Copa America starts. And obviously, we don't play in the 20th. I think we play in the 22nd or 3rd, something like that. But we'll go through. We're going to be doing the full coverage here at Tactical Manager TV and 11 Yanks, as you all know. So after this game, we go to 11 Yanks for the post-game analysis. So you guys can tune in with us. Pete, I'll put the lineups here, and then we're going to go through our Underdog Fantasy ad that I can't forget. And everyone that just tuned in, drop a like in the video if you haven't already. We appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. Pete, U.S. lineup. Matt Turner on goal. Scally on the right back, since Serginho Dest is not available this summer due to an ACL tear. Anthony Robinson on the left back. Raymond Richards as the two center backs. The midfield will have Johnny Cardoso as the 6, McKennie as the 8, and Gio Reyna as a more attacking 8, I'm assuming. And
We'll
then
see.
you have we'll see. Or
Could be playing left back.
We'll talk about that in a sec, because Johnny being there might allow Gio to stay higher up. Pulisic on the left, Way on the right, Balogun still up top, as it should be, in my opinion. Your first thoughts on this lineup?
If you're going to play a 4-3-3, this is probably the best lineup you could put out right now, considering who's available. And so you could maybe make an argument for Tim Weah to play right back and then Pulisic to be on the wing with Haji. But I think this is correct. I think Scally at least deserves a chance to prove that he can handle being the starter at Copa America. So Luis Diaz is probably going to be matched up with him today. That's going to be a big test. I think it's fair to give him that shot. So overall, really can't complain about this lineup.
Same. I thought it was a nearly perfect lineup for what Berhalter wants in terms of approach. And once you look at that, we're giving Berhalter credit where it's due, as always. I think this is a very good lineup. We're going to have to watch out for a couple things, though, in terms of Berhalter. Then we'll talk about the players. Berhalter, it's the in-game management. As Colombia adjusts and adapts to the United States, how does Berhalter react in terms of the positioning of the players? Substitution. Someone's not playing well. Who does he change? All of that is one thing we're going to be watching out for, and how the players behave. Is it going to be super rigid, structured, where the players can't really have some free-flowing attacking soccer, be creative? We're going to have to see. Is he going to have Gio high up the field? Is Gio going to have to come deep to help on the build-out, and then all of a sudden you're canceling out your most creative midfielder? I do think that without Tyler Adams and Johnny there in the midfield, Greg might be a bit more confident on Johnny being involved in the build-out and Gio playing high up the field. And McKennie,
so.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Johnny does need help in the build-out, it should be McKennie. Like, every time you drag Gio into the defensive third, you're wasting him. He needs to be as high as he possibly can, at least midfield third, middle third, and attacking third. That's where he needs to operate. So I hope we don't see what we saw against Mexico, where Gio spent the entire first half in the defensive third almost.
Yeah, and we also have to stop acting as if like Weston McKennie is this Tronco player, not technical enough. He can absolutely play in the build-out. He for a good portion of the season, he was even a playmaker for Juventus, putting up beautiful long balls, able to play. Yes, it's not his main thing. He's not the best player in tight spaces, and it's not like he's freaking Andrea Pirlo, but McKennie can very well get the job done if he needs to drop back and do it. The back line, to me, at the moment, this is the back line that the United States has, the best one. We do have to, after the summer, phase out Tim Ream to become more of a roster player rather than a starter, and that's
Yeah.
where Carter Vickers can come in, or who knows who they'll select, Trusty, McKenzie, or even Miles Robinson or Berhalter. But right now, for this summer, this to me is more or less the strongest lineup we could put out. And this team will be facing Colombia. And before we continue, I'm going to put a quick word from our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. The link to play is in the description of this video. We'll be back in a minute. Drop a like in the meantime to help out the channel. And we're going to talk about Colombia and what me and Pete will be looking towards this game of what we can consider a successful match or an unsuccessful match for the United States. We'll be back in a minute.
Underdog Fantasy is a fun game to play prior to any soccer match or basketball, football as well. You know, it just adds an extra excitement to the game. And this summer, I will be playing Underdog Fantasy during the Copa America and Euros. You can download the app by using the link in the description of this video and use the promo code TMTV. Yes, please, don't forget to use the code. And let me tell you why. Sign up with the code TMTV to claim your special pick plus a first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. The game I mainly play is called Pick'em. I just click on it, scroll to the soccer section, and pick a player for the specific match and select the stats that I believe will be lower or higher. It's very easy to play, but be smart about it because it's not that easy to win. I'll also be playing some Underdog Fantasy during some match live streams during the Copa America and Olympics, posting my picks on X and Instagram, so you must stay tuned for that as well. And once again, I'm a professional hater, so usually I pick anything that will have me rooting for the downfall of that player. With that said, once again, thank you Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring the channel. The link to play is in the description of this video, and the promo code once again is TMTV. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy.
Okay, everyone, if you want to play Underdog, link is in the description of the video. Shanks is saying Adams should start over Scally. Scally's a liability. Scally was a bit shaky in the Bundesliga this season. It's true. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see how he does today. He'll be facing Luis Diaz. And Pete, we were talking about this prior to the game. That's as tough of a competition as he can face. Better than that would just be like Messi, Vinicius Jr. But outside of that, that's as tough as it gets. So we'll see how Scally does in this friendly. If he can hold his own against Diaz, he's fine.
Sure. And, you know, while we're talking about a liability, like Adams has played 200 minutes in the last 18 months. So I don't know why we would start. To be honest, I'm in favor of not necessarily starting Adams at all this summer and using him as a late defensive sub. If Johnny can show today, which I think he will, that he can play that 6 role, I think we need to be careful with Tyler Adams' long-term health, to be honest.
Yeah. And Tyler Adams getting to play at least 15, 20 minutes as a late sub to help us hold a result, a draw, or a win might be far more important than forcing him and having him play 45 minutes and subbed out. And also keep in mind, everyone, he's not going to freaking hit those bangers that you saw against Mexico every week. It's not going to happen.
No.
Albert is saying, let's start the summer with a W. Thank you, Albert, for the super chat. Yes, we're all psyched. This is a massive summer. 2 friendlies, Copa America, Olympics, U20 World Cup. This is the biggest summer we've ever had in our channels for the U.S. men's national team. And I tweeted this out earlier, Pete. Do you think – I'm trying to figure out what would be considered successful for this game, because it is a friendly, so the result itself doesn't matter too much. How he plays more important. But I kind of think winning today is important to set the tone. Make these players, make the fans believe. It's like, listen, we can compete with these top teams. Colombia is undefeated in World Cup qualifying CONMEBOL after 6 games. So defeating this team is something no one else has done in the past, 2 years.
But it's also not like Colombia. Some people have this idea of Colombia. This Colombia team is not on the same level as Brazil or Argentina or France or Spain. They're a good side. They have some interesting players. They also have a lot of guys in this lineup even playing in the Brazilian league or, outside. Like there's one Champions League player in this starting lineup. Okay. And that's not to say they're not good players because they don't play in the Champions. They're a very good team and they're very well coached. And like you pointed to me earlier, they have a very good mentality. But this isn't some unbeatable team full of world-class players. And I think that context is important to keep in mind, especially because we're playing at home. This is a very beatable team because we also have good players. If we get the tactics right, if we get the mentality right and take our chances, it's a very beatable team. And what we want to see is a team that is acting like that. We want our guys to come out, to play strong, to play aggressive, to believe that they can win this game.
Yeah, now let's go through the lineup of Colombia. Vargas is a good goalkeeper, plays in Liga MX, good goalkeeper right there, but
Yeah.
it's not like a game changer. It's not like they have Keylor Navas on goal. Then you got two fullbacks that I think match up well against ours. About the same. I would say Robinson's the best fullback here on the field, to be honest, but they have Munoz and they have Mojica. The two defenders are really good, in my opinion. Lukumi, he used to play, if you don't remember, he played with Mark McKenzie at Genk for a little bit. He was the starter. McKenzie was the backup. And then he moved to Italy, did fine, good center back. And then Sanchez, many of you might remember him from Tottenham. He's a center back that played for Tottenham. He's okay. He's okay.
Now he's in Galatasaray.
Galatasaray, correct, in Turkey. And that's fine. I think our duo might be better, Ream and Richards, in my opinion. And then their midfield, they have Uribe that used to play for Flamengo. Now he plays at outside, I believe that's Saudi Arabia. Good player. He's not also young by any means. He probably is in his mid-30s. And then you got Jefferson Lerma. That's a really good midfielder from Crystal Palace.
Yeah. If you've been watching Richards this season, you've seen a lot of him be very good.
Yeah, he's a good player. And then James Rodriguez, not the same James as 2014 World Cup, but from the games I watched in World Cup qualifying in Colombia, he shows up for the national team. And we know James is one of those players that it's all about technique. So if you give him time and space, he'll punish you. James Rodriguez he's not a world-class player anymore by any means, but if you just from a technical standpoint, he's as technical as world-class players, James Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So don't give him time and space. Don't let this guy play. You let him play, he'll punish you. The wingers, Luis Diaz, you all know from Liverpool, brilliant winger. He will light you up if you allow him to. Scored 2 goals against Brazil in World Cup qualifying, 2 headers, was the reason they defeated Brazil. Fantastic player, great test for Joe Scally.
Would you say world class? Would you say Diaz is a world class player?
If he's not, he's borderline. He's like right there.
Yeah.
He's right
close,
there.
Sure. At least.
Maybe more consistency. Because when I think of world class, I think of like Vinicius, Mo Salah. Is he Mo Salah? No.
But is he a top 10 left winger in the world potentially?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
I mean, depends.
Sure.
Again, world class is subjective, but if you define it as top 10, then yes, in my opinion, yes.
I think he's like up there. This is a really good player. And then Arias, he's a really good winger. He's definitely not a world-class winger by any means, but a really good winger. Helped Fluminense win the Libertadores. Probably among the best, like top 3 wingers in the Brazilian league right now. Really good player, very fast and very technical. Lots of dribbling ability. And then up top, you have Rafael Borré, kind of flopped in the Bundesliga. I believe he played for Eintracht there, if I'm not mistaken. He's playing in Brazil right now for Internacional, the team that Johnny Cardoso used to play for. So based on this run-through of this Colombian side, obviously one thing is for a team to be on paper, the other one's performing, and Colombia's been playing very well. They're very tough to score on. They haven't lost a game World Cup qualifying. They have 3 wins and 3 draws. But on paper, the players we have and theirs, it matches very well. It's a game that should be 50-50, and we're playing at home.
I think the best way to describe this Colombia team is that they play greater than the sum of their parts.
Unlike us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And I guess that's how we're going to evaluate this. Let me get this out of the way since we went through the lineups. If the players are very even, which is what it is, the difference right there could be the coaching and mentality. So it's not all on Berhalter because these players need to have their own mentality too. It's not all on Berhalter. But that's when it comes down to. These South American teams just don't really accept mediocrity. Colombia, they're going into this game. They're not accepting a loss against the United States. They're not.
And their media doesn't defend them when they look like shit.
Oh yeah, ours loves doing that. Ours loves doing that, man. And I kind of like the fact that the U.S. men's national team. A couple of days ago, we had Haji Wright, and then we had Tyler Adams come out with some interviews that they would say, you know, this is a stepping stone for 2026. Listen, anyone that follows soccer in a long time knows the Copa America is one of the most prestigious competitions in international soccer. It's only behind the World Cup. And in terms of quality, it's below the Euros. But in terms of history, it's right there. It's right there with the Euros in terms of prestige and the teams that play and the players that play this competition. The United States should 100% be taking this seriously. I know they are, but I'm just saying, go for the win. Are we the favorites to win the trophy? No, we're not the favorites to win the trophy. But believe you can, Go after it. Peru made it to the final in 2019 with a much worse team than us. Believe it. Because I'll tell you one thing, and I don't know if this is a crazy take. I saw Jay Hernandez on Twitter say this the other day. What is a bigger accomplishment, Pete? The United States making it to the quarterfinals in 2026 or winning the Copa America?
Winning Copa America, and it's not close. It's not close. No, I have people on
Semifinals.
Twitter saying that this is a made-up tournament, that is only made up to make South Americans feel good about themselves. And I'm like, silence, please. Like, go somewhere and hide in shame until you've learned what the world football is, because you have no clue what you're talking about.
No, and the thing is, sure, World Cup semifinals, that's a different discussion because it's something we've never done. It'll be at home, but the Copa America is super prestigious. If the United States is able to win it, and again, I'm not saying we're the favorite. We're not. We're not better than Uruguay. We're not better than Brazil. We're not better than Argentina. But I do think after that, we match up evenly with anyone else. So the fact of the matter is here, got to pull upsets. Find a way. You got, in the first step to pulling an upset is believing you can pull it. That's the first step. Then you come into the tactics, scouting, preparation, a little bit of luck. And again, I find it interesting when they talk about luck, because for you to get lucky, you need to put yourself in a position to get lucky. You need to make the game tough enough, even enough, close enough, that in one moment, one ball, you get a goal and you get lucky and win. If you can't do that, you can never get lucky.
Yeah.
Like the Dutch game that we played. We never, like, we had a lucky goal with Haji Wright, but it was so uneven that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's go through here some of the super chats that went through. Cole, he's saying, been practicing my skills for the pickup game. I'm like Kevin De Bruyne, but without any skills and just the hair color. That's close enough. That's close enough. For anyone who doesn't know, Cole is saying here, we're doing a pickup soccer event here in Orlando for the Patreon and YouTube members. And people might be asking, why aren't you opening it to the public? Well, because I had to rent the field, make jerseys, and also if I open up and 100 people show up or 50 people show up, we can't all play. So
Right.
I'm going to do it for that. We might open up for a few people that are not Patreon members. If you want to join the Patreon, the link is in the description. But that's the game that Cole is talking about. And I'm going to have some former players come here. There, Emerson, that played for the Brazilian national team in 2006. He said he might try to show up. Some guys that played for Flamengo in the past, Palmeiras. And I'm waiting on Jeff Cameron and Breck Shea to confirm. The problem is they're playing the TST tournament. Stanley is saying, I think Colombia is the perfect test to see where we truly are. Agreed, right, Pete?
Yes.
Colombia? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a friendly, so it's always hard to judge friendlies, but still, you can still make a statement and also get America excited. You know, I mean, look at today, it's filled with Colombia fans, right? And don't get me started on how U.S. soccer has failed miserably to promote the U.S. men's national team properly in America, but there's a lot of reasons for that.
Yeah. And Colombia under Ernesto Lorenzo, their current coach from Argentina, by the way. Argentina does produce some brilliant coaches. He hasn't lost a game. 18 games, 13 wins, and 5 draws, I believe. Something like that. Didn't lose yet. And he played some tough teams right there. Brazil, Spain, Japan. They beat Japan. So this is a team that if we don't bring our A game, they will punish us. And there are no excuses. S27 saying, how badly will Mexico implode versus Brazil tonight? Brazil, this is funny because Brazil has a game with Mexico today, Pete, and then the U.S. on Wednesday. They decided to put the subs against Mexico today and the starters against the U.S. on Wednesday. Why? Don't ask me. There can be multiple reasons, rotation, but they could have put the starters here today and rested them against the U.S.
Maybe they had the starters play against a better team. That would make sense, right?
That's
against the worst team, you give some of your subs a chance to see what they can do, and against a better team, you have to put your starters.
That's my guess. And I think here's the thing. The question was, how bad will they implode? The Brazilian backup players should still beat Mexico like 2-3-0.
Oh, yeah.
The Brazilian backups are still, in my opinion, better than the U.S. And we keep kicking Mexico's ass. So they should be able to beat Mexico pretty easily. Anthony is saying Sean Johnson is only there just to be a bodyguard. If there's a brawl, he'll throw punches and the top players will not get in trouble. I don't think that's why he's there.
No, he's the new Eyes and Vibes. Him and Shaq Moore together. They're like they're dancing in the locker room to entertain everyone. That's literally their only job.
Gallardo999 is saying more Colombian fans in our own nation's capital. Look, guys, if we keep talking about this every time, every stream, we talk about the failure of U.S. soccer to get this country to embrace the U.S. men's national team. Most of these Colombians that are there are probably Americans. They're just Colombian national team fans, or they're dual nationals for the most part. But U.S. soccer has failed to get a lot of these fans to identify with this team, really embrace it, and believe in them. Uh, I think it's been growing just because the players are better, but I feel like, Pete, I feel like you go on a rant about this every stream we have.
Well, I'll just say this. I was talking to somebody recently from FIFA, and the feeling at FIFA is that they don't understand how U.S. soccer has failed to make the world's most popular sport at least relevant in its own country. And FIFA is baffled and kind of not happy with U.S. soccer about it. And FIFA will be taking over for the next 2 years in terms of promoting the 2026 World Cup because they don't trust U.S. soccer. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. U.S. soccer has failed in the last 30 years. Like, you could argue men's national team games, they haven't really created that many new fans in the last 30 years. Certainly not the way they should have.
No, it seems like our player pool improves, popularity of the sport here goes up in the U.S. and the national team hasn't. They haven't been able to get the country to actually embrace the team, which shouldn't be much of a problem. And Dog WTR is saying, I'm a U.S. men's national team fan from Finland. Wow. Well, wait, he said most Europeans have always laughed at the Copa America because of its inconsistency and weird participant nations. Why don't they always play it like this year's edition? Well, because as someone that has Brazilian parents, and I've lived in Brazil for like 10 years, so a portion of my life, have Brazilian grandparents and lots of friends there. South America is very disorganized in general, and there's a lot of corruption, and they don't want to do things the right way. If they market it, think about it for a second. CONMEBOL has Argentina and Brazil. They should have made the Copa America this massive tournament that the entire world wants to watch, yet only CONMEBOL cares about it. And they just don't understand how things work. It's all about corruption, how they make money now, allegedly. Not so allegedly at the same time. It's just that. And yeah, they had Qatar playing randomly, and then they had Japan played it before. They don't have a consistent. If the Copa America was consistent with like 16 nations, 10 from CONMEBOL, 6 from CONCACAF, every 4 years, it would be a lot better. It would do a lot better. So they don't have anyone else to blame but themselves. But again, we talked about this very much. CONCACAF is very similar. CONCACAF just doesn't have as much to work with as CONMEBOL. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Brazilian Fury saying USA and Brazil games tonight. Tack and I are feasting. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be working on the 7 things we learned, but I'm definitely going to be watching Mexico versus Brazil. Hopefully Brazil defeats Mexico, which I think they will. John is saying, can't watch today. Love the lineup. Go United States. Thank you all for the hard work covering the team. Don't worry. If you don't watch the game, go to 11 Yanks after the stream because you'll know everything that happened in the game. If you want a summary, that's essentially what we do there. And then we break down, rate the players and everything. And Jeff, Pete, this one's for you. This is not.
Thank you, Jeff. Spicy Jeff is back. It's spicy summer with Jeff for sure. We're going to be seeing a lot of him. I have a feeling.
And he's saying, Tack and Pete, you both look sexy today. Thank you, Jeff. We don't, but thank you.
We should tell our ladies that. We're like, hey, Jeff thinks we're sexy.
And they're like, no, you're not. Grow up. And we're like, but Jeff literally said we are. And it's not the first time he said it.
No.
Not the first time. But let me see if I didn't miss anyone here in the chat. But everyone, once again, just to go over all, this video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. The link is in the description of this video if you want to play. We also have our Patreon. If you want to join our Patreon to support the channel or to be part of the Tactical Manager pickup game here in Orlando and jersey giveaways, join the Patreon. Link is in the description. And then you also have Pete's Patreon, which will be on his videos if you want to check. He does tactical breakdowns with actual highlights because he doesn't get copyright strikes there, unlike YouTube. So you guys can go join all those if you want to support the channels. It's the best way to do so. And then obviously for free, best way to support us is watching, hitting the like button, and all of that. We are roughly 9 minutes away from kickoff. The stadium is obviously packed with Colombian fans, which I think was expected. I think it was expected.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one thing here too, Pete. We are going to play Colombia in a sorry, not Colombia, Bolivia in our opener in Dallas in a massive stadium. There is no way it's going to be sold out, is there?
I would be surprised. I would be very surprised.
And you know what disappoints me about that is 20,000 people in a 70,000 seater stadium looks like shit. But if you have a 20,000 seat stadium that's sold out, it looks nice.
Right. They
But
should have just played it at FC Dallas's home.
yeah, I would have preferred that. It would have been much better. Where can we watch the game? You can watch the game on TNT. I believe Telemundo has it, and it's even on Peacock. So TNT, Telemundo, or Peacock. All these channels have the game. And Brazilian Fury saying can't do Orlando this
So
year for the
HBO Max if you want. If you have
HBO Max also. So HBO Max as well. And Brazilian Fury saying can't do Orlando this year, next year for the Club World Cup. Dude, Club World Cup, I'll be going to the Palmeiras game for sure. It'll all be in the East Coast. And hopefully I can drag Pete. I already got Pete a Palmeiras jersey. So I'm going to drag you to the games here. I'm going to go to the
Oh,
Palmeiras.
how's the hoodie, by the way?
Oh, it's great. I loved
Yeah?
it. Yeah,
Nice.
Pete got me a Palmeiras hoodie from. Well, I'm still surprised you found a freaking hoodie from Palmeiras on Amazon because I never searched, but I got it here. It's just a little too hot in Florida to wear a hoodie.
Yeah, right now. But for winter,
But-
when it gets cooler.
Well, it's actually the perfect hoodie for Florida because that's about it. What you use here when it's winter
When it's
time.
cool,
So I'll be
yeah.
using it a lot. And everyone, game will start in 7 minutes. United States. Pete, before we start, what would you consider a successful game? What would you consider an unsuccessful game? Besides the result, of course. Result wise, let's
I want to
ignore
see
that
us
for a
go
second.
toe to toe to look tactically competent. I want to see a swashbuckling performance. I don't want to see slow, measured, sideways passes, horseshoe drawing, and endless crosses. I want us to take advantage of moments. I want us to be lethal in transition, patient in possession, but always probing, always trying to find an attacking. And I want to see competence, and I want us to see us going toe to toe with Colombia with confidence and panache and self belief.
Mhm. I think, well, you said it very well, so I'm not going to repeat all that. But,
Do you have a prediction? Do you have a game prediction?
I'm going to say 2-2. I think
Okay.
we'll see goals. I know it's tough to score at Colombia, but I think we'll be able to score. But this Colombian side is very tough to actually defeat. And I wouldn't mind a 2-2 draw. I would like to see a win, but since it's a friendly, I don't mind a 2-2 draw as long as everything you said happens. As long as we look like we're going toe to toe them. Not a lucky 2-2 draw, but 2-2 because we were legitimately at the same level as Colombia. That's what I want to see. And I think I'm also even okay. Let's say we lose to Colombia 2-1, but we literally matched up with them evenly. It could have gone either way. That to me is not a major. Sure, you have to find a way to pull results in actual competition. In the Copa America, win by all means necessary. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. Even if you have to score with your hand, score with your hand. Unfortunately, that doesn't work anymore these days because we have the VAR. Unless you're Argentina, because then they give you a penalty kick, even with the VAR. Whatever you do, you get a penalty kick if you're Argentina. But it's more about how we play. We have to play at the same level as Colombia. I'm hoping Joe Scally holds his own against Luis Diaz. It'll be very important for us because he is our best right back in this roster. Otherwise, we're going to have to go to plan B, which is what you said, put Weah there. That's plan B, essentially.
Yeah.
I want to see Johnny put out a performance where people and Berhalter start to trust him more in the sense of like, oh, Tyler's not 100%. That's fine, Tyler. 15 minutes off the bench. Johnny's got this. And this is Johnny's big opportunity. He's in form. He's healthy, been training with the team for over a week against a very good opponent. So if he holds his own and plays well against Colombia, you can trust him for the rest of the summer. That's also very important. And I think, I don't know if you're going to agree with this, Pete. I think Balogun's the one that probably needs the biggest performance here.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of questions after the season that he's had. And also, I mean, look, the guy has 5 goal contributions in 10 national team appearances. It's not like he's been awful for the U.S. in terms of production. But yes, he certainly is not shown in the way that we thought he would. And now it's time for him to step up and to take this responsibility on his shoulders.
Yeah, and the reason I say Balogun is all the players we have, like Gio doesn't really seem to be affected in terms of confidence when he plays for the national team. Pulisic's been great. Johnny's coming from a very good half season with Real Betis. Everyone's fine. Balogun is a striker, and we know that's a position that confidence, just like goalkeeper, it's like the two ends, goalkeeper and striker. Confidence plays a huge role in terms of getting your goal scoring opportunities, converting them, being clinical. Balogun needs that coming into the Copa America, and it looks like Sargent might not make it to the Copa America.
Looks like he's the cut instead of Shaq Moore or Timmy Tillman. So they both just got free passes to Copa America.
Yep. So without Sargent, the two center forwards you have are Balogun and Pepe. And Haji could be, but Greg already said he's a winger, and he was better as a winger for Coventry. So I'm going to say we really need Balogun to get it going. I'm okay if Pepe's the one getting to get it going, but I just think Balogun is a level above that, and that's what I would hope. Dog WTR is saying, if you could add one world-class level player to the U.S. men's national team, what position would you choose that player to be? I would choose goalkeeper, but I would prefer right wing. What would you do, Pete? Thinking very quickly, what would you do? One
Striker.
player.
Like if we could get a Holland up top, I think it'd be important not only for the team, but also for the perception of the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, I would say that too, because even a Kylian Mbappe could play as a center forward, for example. So I'd probably get a striker. That would change a lot, and just the confidence that this team would have. So I would say something like that too, a striker or a player that can play all three positions up top, like Mbappe, something like that. Matt is, and I wouldn't put goalkeeper because I still think, despite not being perfect, I don't think Matt Turner is like the problem. It's not a problem. Matt is saying, how are the under-20s looking? Haven't checked up in a while. Pete, any thoughts on that?
Well, they just beat Argentina in a friendly today. Keiro Figueroa scored the winning goal. Of course, it's a friendly, and we don't really know what Argentina did. But, you know, they're in this cycle that's going to be playing to, you know, for the World Cup. And there's some talented players there. There's a lot to get excited about with this U20 group, but we can maybe talk about that another time.
Yeah, so the U20s have World Cup qualifying this summer after the Copa America, and me and Pete will be covering it. So we'll have a lot to talk about and see how they're doing. Remember, there's only so much we can cover, so we don't follow them religiously every single month. We know a little bit, and then as the tournament comes on, we're going to learn more and more and keep you guys informed as it approaches. Right now, all our eyes and our focus are on the Copa America right now. Steven is saying we're gonna pull an Iceland on Colombia, guys. No, but here's the thing: Iceland's upset on England. It's not the same. We're much closer to Colombia than Iceland is to. We're even with Colombia, in my opinion.
Yes,
on paper.
On paper, yes.
Drunken ramblings with Aaron is saying we need national parks inspired kit. Like imagine they make a kit inspired on like the Central Park, New York City.
Central Park, yeah. Or like Yosemite or Wyoming. That could be actually pretty cool. Some famous national parks.
You like a Grand Canyon?
Yeah, Grand Canyon, Zion National Park.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Oh, I would hope Nike would take the 2026 World Cup seriously, make a really good first kit, second kit, and I would want a third kit celebrating more of America, something we probably wouldn't even use in an official match, just friendlies, but something celebrating the United States more and more.
Like the jeans, the denim kit in '94. I still unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, that was
those are my
Adidas, right?
favorite.
It was Adidas, I think.
That was Adidas, yes.
Yeah, it was Adidas.
That was such an American, like denim with stars on it was such an American, like, kit. In fact, there's a girl on TV wearing it right now from Tampa, holding up the Tampa flag.
And now we have the national anthem playing for the United States by Brian Justin Crumb. I don't know who he is. You know him?
Not a clue.
Let me see. Brian, who's the singer? Justin, American singer and actor.
Brian Justin, what?
He's an American singer and actor from San Diego, California. He was from Americans Got Talent. I don't watch that. So
no, me neither. He's an actor too. What's he been in?
Isn't Americans Got Talent for actors also? I don't know.
I guess I don't watch it. I don't know.
Oh, he was in the musical comedy Altar Boys in Greece. So probably like theater.
Got theater. Okay.
Yeah, theater. Isn't theater harder than actual movies? What do you think? Either work.
I prefer theater.
Is it harder?
Theater. No, in my opinion, because you're on stage, you're doing the entire thing from beginning to end, and you're in the moment. Whereas with TV and film, there's like you're surrounded by chaos, lights, everyone's yelling, screaming, go, action. And you might be filming a scene that's like from the end of the movie already. And so you have to understand where you're at and the emotion. It's much harder. Whereas theater, you go from beginning to end and there's no interruptions. There's nobody powdering your face last minute. I prefer theater. It just doesn't, there's no money unless you're on Broadway.
I thought theater was worse because there's less room for mistakes. It's more like live.
Yeah, I don't mind that. That, for me at least, theater is a lot easier and more enjoyable. But TV and film pays better. So
let's put this here. Yeah, he sang the national anthem very well, to be fair. All right. The one thing I wanted to say to everyone too is very often we say, oh, we're playing away because there's more Colombian fans. It's not the same as playing in Bogota. These are not fans that are as loud as you'd think. These are families just having a good time. So when we talk about these games where the United States plays in the U.S. with mostly fans from the other national team, it's almost like we're playing in like a neutral ground. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's very family-friendly environment.
Hugo Lopez saying,
Bogota is at altitude, isn't it?
I think Bogota has a little bit of an altitude. It's not like La Paz, for sure.
No, it's not La Paz.
Or it's not even
La Paz
like
is what, 10,000 feet?
Oh, La Paz is insane. That's why Bolivia becomes competitive, the altitude merchants. But it's not even like, I believe Quito in Ecuador is also higher than Bogota, I believe. And
right now.
But Colombia doesn't play all the games there. Colombia also plays in Medellin, I believe. I remember that. They also play in Medellin. Hugo Lopez saying, are we seriously doing a 4-3-3 again? I mean, that's all Berhalter has, guys. Why are we surprised at this point? I have no issues with the 4-3-3. It's more of like how he uses it.
So real quick, Bogota is at 8,000 feet, which is pretty high. That's higher than Denver. Denver is 5,000 feet.
La Paz.
La Paz is probably 12.
It's 12,000 feet, yeah.
Yeah. But 8,000 is no joke. I mean, I was in Colorado at 8,000 feet over the New Year. Breathing's hard.
Yeah, I think Quito is up there too. But again, I don't think Colombia plays there very much. I think they play a lot of games in Medellin.
Really?
I think so.
Quito is 9,300 feet, so also high.
I know Ecuador, when they play there, they really make it tough. And there's also Liga de Quito, this team from Ecuador that's very tough to beat away. Tax Brazilian Ghost. Oh, boy, I remember that. When I was in Brazil and there was a mirror behind me and they saw someone walking by, but there was no one in the apartment with me. They were lying. I think they were lying. And I was too scared. Sure I was too scared to go back in the stream and actually look at it. Imagine you look at it and there was someone. I would freak out. So I was like, I would just pretend they lied. I'm never going back to that stream. And I hope you guys were lying. Otherwise, there was a ghost. And then Dave Valensky saying, heading over to Blackheart in St. Paul to watch the game, then going to Minnesota United game. Nice day for it. Hey, enjoy, Dave. Have a good time.
Have fun, man.
Have fun. Sounds like a wonderful Saturday right there.
Game's kicked off.
Yeah, well, mine hasn't. Yours has?
Mine has, yeah, about 10 seconds in. Wow, I'm in front for the first time.
Where are you watching?
On Max.
Oh, Max is ahead. I'm on Max. TNT.
Okay.
I wonder if I it's on Peacock also, right?
We're starting well. Oh!
Goal?
No goal. But Balogun almost ripped a shot. He ripped a shot. It was just too high.
Let me see if Peacock's ahead.
Balogun, nice turn on Balogun. Hit it with his left foot from the edge of the box.
I'm going to put it on Peacock to see if that maybe is ahead because I'm way too behind. Watch now. Let's see.
Yeah. Long ball from Colombia. Tim Ream in the way. The thing about this Colombia team is I don't think they're too ideological in the way they play. They're very flexible, you know.
They're also very aggressive. They'll press, and they don't like to sit back.
No.
Oh, okay. So I'm at minute 1:07 on Peacock. Much better.
Okay. So I'm only 5 seconds ahead of you now, but I'll see you. I'll come in and out, okay?
All right.
See you guys. Let's go, USA.
See you soon, Pete. Okay, everyone. I am at minute 120 right now. So pretty much the same that you're seeing on screen. we should be good. United States versus Colombia. And for anyone wondering, yeah, we are playing a 4-3-3. We're playing exactly as we projected here. And it looks like Weah is dropping deeper there with Scally to help with Luis Diaz. And Chase is saying, can't wait for the Greg Berhalter soccer terrorism. Also, shout out to you and Pete for making U.S. men's national team match days always more entertaining. Go USA. Thank you very much, Chase. Thank you very much for the super chat, everyone. Thank you, everyone that tuned in. And let me see if I didn't miss any super chats here. No, I didn't. Thank you, everyone. Let's start the stream. And let's try to hit 1,000 likes in this stream if we haven't already. Let's try to hit 1,000 likes here. I don't know how many we have. All right, Colombian possession here. We're sitting a bit deeper to start the game. James Rodriguez, a lot of freedom to float around. Colombia down the right. It's going to be interesting to see what approach Greg Berhalter takes if we're going to try to play in transition. I wouldn't mind seeing how the U.S. can do in transition, but we have to be very direct. We're normally not direct. We're normally very slow in transition. Good interception from Johnny. Cutting the passing lanes. 2 minutes, 40 seconds. Not much has happened so far. Besides Colombia just holding the ball with lots of possession and no penetration. They're just masturbating. You guys know how it is. 361 likes. That's it. That's it. We have over 1,200 people here the entire time, and we only have that amount of likes. Nah, that's not right. That's not right. Let's see. Oh, you are right. We're only at 400 likes. Yeah, guys, just get those likes up. It helps the channel quite a bit. And here comes the United States. Well, Colombia still with the ball. The United States sitting very freaking deep. Colombia down the left flank. Cross goes in, and Anthony Robinson's able to clear. Let's see now counterattack with Christian Pulisic. Let's see how we do. Pulisic, no options. Pulisic's able to draw a foul. Yep, Pulisic draws a foul for the United States. How we behave in transition is actually very important in this game. Because let's put it this way. Oh, and Diaz was like, I think Scally did a good job there on Luis Diaz. That was a good job from Joe Scally. That was a decent job right there from Scally. But how we strike in transition is crucial here, man. Because when we play a team like Brazil, for example, in the knockout rounds, we have to be able to sit deep, be compact, and dangerous in transition. Otherwise, we're just going for a 0-0 draw. Weston McKennie quickly finds Weah down the right, direct, verticality. Cross goes in, Balogun tries to settle it, cleared by Colombia. We have to, the one thing is, I know we made fun of Berhalter for it, but there has to be a lot of verticality. A lot of verticality if you're going to play in transition. McKennie, back to Johnny. Johnny switches the play to Weah. Too strong. Weah is able to, nope, not able to save it. That'll go to Colombia. Bad pass from Johnny to Weah. JU saying, played a pickup game in Bogota. Lasted about 5 minutes. Yeah, man, the altitude. I never really played in the altitude. I guess Mexico City's a bit in the altitude. And I didn't play soccer there. I just walked around. And CD, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. And if you go to the community tab for the members, CD, you can see the address and date for the pickup game if you can attend on the community tab for the YouTube channel. Colombia gets the ball back, and the United States is playing more of a mid-block now. They try to go long to break the line, and Anthony Robinson recovers the ball for the United States down the left, gets pressed by Diaz and loses it. That can't happen, A-Rob. Diaz. Down the middle, is that John Arias? I believe so. John Arias is a player to watch out for. Also would watch out for two Colombian prospects that many people talked about that caught my attention. Asprilla, that plays for Watford. And then you also have, what's his name? John Duran. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, goal. Colombia scored. Big mistake from Anthony Robinson. And John Arias scores for Colombia. What was A-Rob doing, man? What the fuck? If he just let the ball go, it would have been a goal kick. Just let the ball go, it would have been a goal kick. So it was a through ball from James, which wasn't good. And then A-Rob just kind of cleared it towards the inside of the box. Pretty much giving the goal to John Arias. And then John Arias got a touch and a nice finish with Tim Ream on him. Oh, I don't know, man. I can't really blame Ream and Turner for that one. I know some people are saying Ream could have recovered quickly, but again, that was A-Rob's mistake. That goes like 90% on A-Rob. Steven Agishi saying, any concerns with how some of the guys sounded like they take or did not take the Copa America seriously? Yeah, Steven, there were concerns about that, the mentality of them just saying that this is a stepping stone for the World Cup and blah, 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 because that's not how it should be. This is a very prestigious competition that the United States should take seriously. It kind of seemed like they were already making up excuses for the tournament. So there are concerns, and that speaks for the mentality. Me and Pete talked about earlier in the stream how, in terms of like skill and level of play, the United States and Colombia are very close, but Colombia is more well coached, and the mentality is different from the Colombian players. There's not really an acceptance for mediocrity. They're not thinking about 2026 right now. They're thinking about having a good Copa America, trying to win the Copa America. While the U.S., while playing at home, there are already excuses coming up. The makeup of this team is direct orders from Greg Berhalter, right? Well, teams tend to absorb the personality of the coach. And we talked about this extensively, how the United States, the way we look, the low energy, the no aura. Berhalter has no aura. That does influence. But again, here's the thing. I agree with you for the mentality, but we can't blame Berhalter when Anthony Robinson is cutting a pass towards the box, towards the inside. That is not on Berhalter. There's a lot of things we can blame Berhalter. We'll talk about that. But what Robinson did is all on him. BMR 209 saying, dropped my mom off at the LA airport last week. Palmeiras U14s were there, had a youth tournament in San Diego, won all their games. Those guys were so tall. Well, Palmeiras' academy is the best in Brazil probably right now. They've been quite impressive. And Johnny finds Gio Reyna. They're producing players that are going to Europe for 50 million euros. So much. Palmeiras Academy has been tremendous so far. Thank you, BMR, also for the super chats. Go back to the game here. Poor start from the... Oh, finds Balogun. Balogun with the finish. Oh, saved on the line. Good touch. Good finish from Balogun. Lukumi saved it on the line right there. That one was all on A-Rob, wasn't it?
A-Rob, Ream, Turner. I think they all share some responsibility. Turner's at the near post. A-Rob should not have cut that out. Just let it go. Just let it go.
And well, you also never cut it towards the middle of your box.
No, it's nonsense. That's like basic shit. I would say like 70% of that is on A-Rob. Ream and Turner both could have done better, though. Let's go, Gio. Let's go. Not a good start. Not a good start.
No.
But we're starting to get some momentum here. When Gio needs to get higher up the field, he's dropping. Have you noticed in the build-out, Gio's deeper than McKennie?
Uh-huh. Yeah, Greg never learns that.
He never learns.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no.
I do.
Wait, was that Johnny just shutting down Luis Diaz? I was told he couldn't do that.
See. Yeah, Johnny. Johnny intercepted, yeah. Well, Johnny's going to have to do a lot of work there covering for the fullbacks there.
Yeah.
McKennie with the ball. The problem, too, is the aggressiveness, the mentality of this Colombian side is what is levels above us. That is one thing for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, African dogs, man.
Yeah, they're not African dogs, but they got it.
What was the latest speech? How do we do that? Raise your hand, kids. Oh, here comes Gio.
Oh, bad pass from Gio. But Ream recovers. Gio has the ball. Reyna, put it through ball, Gio. I'll find who's that? Pulisic?
Pulisic, yeah.
Yeah, Pulisic.
Every time we get Gio on the ball, he looks dangerous. We look dangerous. Gio on the ball in the attacking third, especially.
Oh, boy. Okay, good read there from Matt Turner. The thing with this Colombian side that the United States is going to have to find a way to deal with, which is something South American teams do very well and the U.S. doesn't do well, is they know how to change the tempo of the game. It's like slow, boom, attack you out of nowhere.
Yes.
Something Brazil does very well in Argentina.
Campos de ritmo, they call it.
Exactly. South American countries do that very well. They slow down the game, and then you cool off, and you think, okay, they're just playing it slow. out of nowhere, high intensity.
Yes,
And they
they
catch you
change
off guard.
tempo on a dime, and they have triggers for changing that tempo. They know
Mhm.
what to do.
It's like
Whereas
a dance.
Triple G, it's all one tempo, slow.
It's like a dance for them. That's how they play.
Nice
And
ball by
that's
Johnny.
it.
Oh no.
So Johnny's very deep, tries to go long with Weah, cleared again. I just don't like, it's always the same setup with Berhalter.
Yeah, he never changes it.
Don't you also think that by now the teams already know that? Like, we literally
Everybody
know.
knows that.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. It's been like this for 5 years. It's never changed.
They'll scout the national team 3 times, and they're like, okay, we know how the U.S. plays at this point.
Yeah.
Johnny protects it. Back to Joe Scally. Scally finds Tim Ream. David is saying at least 25% on Turner, cannot get beat near post. Sure. I still think A-Rob, yeah, like Pete said, 70, 80% on A-Rob, then a percentage on Turner, and then I guess Tim Ream could have closed it down earlier. But the problem is A-Rob's mistake was the most blatant one. It was terrible. You don't clear the ball. Also, if you're going to clear it to the middle of the box, you better blast it so it just goes out.
Also, we start to have this habit of conceding early. Remember Jamaica, first 5 minutes we conceded. A lot of that conceding in the first 5 minutes is very much mentality, you know?
And then going on here at the game, S27 is saying Turner has to yell at A-Rob to let the ball go. Sure, maybe he did, but at the same time, A-Rob should be able to read that on his own because the ball was going very wide. So even if a Colombian player found it, it would be for a cross. It's much better to have a cross than to give Arias the finish.
Foul on Gio. That was a nice foul on Johnny. It was a nice layoff from Gio to Johnny. And he almost beat his man.
I thought Gio and Johnny have been fine there in the midfield.
Yeah. McKennie hasn't really done anything.
No.
Yet, so far. It's been quiet. We need to get a hold of this ball.
Did you see BJ Callahan on the laptop right there?
It's a poor guy. He's been relegated. He's probably editing the PowerPoint for halftime. That's
Yeah.
what he's doing.
He's like, guys, raise your hand if you know how to come back from this 1-0 deficit. Brendan, what do you have to say? We need to score goals, Greg. We need goals. Deadly Brian X is saying, a lot of you guys never played in goal and it shows. Why do you go for a ball heading out? Stupid IQ for Jedi. Rocket near post, hard to stop. Well, most of the blame is on A-Rob.
Yeah, that's what we already said.
But it's still near post.
Near
We're not
post,
saying
the goalkeeper still has to share some responsibility near post.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no one's arguing that it was a terrible play from A-Rob, and I'll put the blame like 70 to 80% on. I'll probably go 80% because if he just lets that go, none of that happens. And some percentage on Ream too, because he needs to be
personally at 70, 20, 10. 20 on Turner, 10 on Ream. Because I think Ream, I know it's a shock to Ream. He has to adjust quickly, but come on. You can't let him get that shot off.
One thing with Colombia too, they're a lot faster with the ball. There's a lot more confidence with this team than the U.S. We're so slow with the ball every time.
So slow. All right. I'll see you guys. I'll see you at halftime.
But yeah, Deadly Brian, it's definitely not mostly on Turner, but there's no way to say Turner is blameless in the goal. It was still near post. But yeah, it's definitely on Anthony Robinson, most of this goal. 1-0 Colombia, 15 minutes into the game. Outside of that, the United States had a good goal-scoring opportunity with Balogun. The ball did go through the goalkeeper, but then I believe it was Lukumi that was able to save it off the line. That would have been a goal for the United States. Some people said it was a handball. I haven't seen the replay yet, so I can't comment on that. But Colombia has been controlling the possession very well. They've been in complete control of the game so far. 585 likes. Guys, if you just made it to the stream, help us hit 1,000 likes. It's a great way to support the channel, and it's free. So if you can hit the like button, I truly appreciate it. Colombian possession, Lukimi with the ball. We're also not pressing much. Oh, good line-breaking pass. Who's that to? Munoz, the right back, has the ball, tries to go against Robinson. That'll be James, blocked by Gio Reyna. Was that Gio? Oh, no, Johnny. Johnny's on James. Yeah, Johnny. Sorry. Thought it was Gio. Good block there from Johnny. But Colombia's completely outplaying the United States so far. James all the way back. Got to look at the stats at some point here, but things are not looking good. Here comes Colombia. Cross goes in. Header. Oof. I believe that was from Bohe. Was that Bohe or Uribe? Uribe with the header. Off target, but quite dangerous. James Rodriguez has been playing well, man. It's what I was saying in the pregame. This is not prime James Rodriguez. This is not 2014 World Cup James Rodriguez, but you give this guy time and space and you're in big trouble. You give James Rodriguez time and space and you're screwed. That's the best way to put it. I was even telling Pete, James is a better player than Gio Reyna right now still. This might be a bit controversial, but it's not. It shouldn't be. Even though he's playing in the Brazilian league. He's just too good. Okay, Colombia 1, United States 0. Chris Richards back. I need to figure out what color cleats are Gio Reyna and Johnny playing because I'm getting them confused. I think Gio's playing with white cleats and Johnny's with like orange cleats because I can't see the freaking numbers. Yeah, Gio's white cleats and Johnny's like orange cleats. Tim Ream pressed, lost the ball. Tim Ream can't do that, man. You're old and experienced. Oh, Richards clears it. Oh, shit. That'll be a corner for Colombia, but Borre almost had a wide open shot in the box. Tim Ream, you're a veteran here. You can't be losing the ball as the last. Just kick it out of bounds, man. And Chris Richards, that was, I know he cleared it whatever way he could. So it was actually Johnny that got his toe on the ball to not let Bohet finish. It was Johnny, but that was a poor clearance. Very poor clearance right there from Chris Richards. Arias with the cross. Ball goes in. Cleared again. Nope. Colombia still has it. Oh, is that a... Oh, my God. They just scored a bicycle kick. Bohet just scored a bicycle kick. 2-0 Colombia. Got to end this game. Seriously, just stop it. 2-0, 20 minutes in. Bohet just hits a kind of, not a bicycle kick. It was probably like a half volley. That one looked like it was Turner, man. Let's see that again. That might have been on Matt Turner. No one clears it. Arias wins. Nah, man. Matt Turner has to save that. What the heck was that? He has to save that, man. That was a weak shot. Let's see from a different angle here. Nah. That one's on Turner, man. That one's on Turner. That one's on Turner. I'm sorry, man. You have to save that. Yeah, Dob, I can't go through this super chat, Dob. I'm going to have to skip it. Oh, my goodness. This is so embarrassing right now for the United States. Hugo Lopez saying it pisses me off how we look lost and scared. The mentality, man. The mentality goes a long way. Our team looks clueless. We're slow in possession. Just doesn't look well. We just don't look good. And Matt Turner, that ball should have not gone in. I don't blame Turner too much for the first goal, but that second goal, we have to blame Turner. And don't be greedy saying, glad I didn't get Fubo for this. Where are you watching it then? Where are you watching it? S27 saying, get Turner off the field now. Put Ethan Horvath in. Look, not now. I'll let him finish this game probably, but I wouldn't really be opposed for us to try Ethan Horvath at some point. I wouldn't be against it. Christian Pulisic goes by one, tries to get across to no one. To no one. I don't know who was that ball to. And Cade Paris saying, remember, guys, this is a stepping stone. Well, again, when you're using a stepping stone, you have to perform well, right? So if you're going to prepare for the 2020, when I played soccer, the coach would always say, you can't do in the game what you're not capable of doing in practice. If you can't do it in practice or when you're preparing for it, it's not going to happen in the game. So if this is a stepping stone, if you're preparing for the World Cup here, if you can't perform here, why the heck am I supposed to believe that Greg Berhalter is going to get this team to play in 2026? And I understand people are going to say, and it's true, it's not all on Berhalter. He put the strong lineup, but we're still playing the same stupid system that he puts out. We just need changes, man. That's just a fact. We need a new coach. The mentality has to change. The vibes surrounding this camp has to change. You just see the press conferences, and some of the U.S. players just look defeated. Anthony Robinson, down the left, lost the ball. Lost the ball. Colombia will get back to possession, and they'll just try to go direct and long. Tim Ream. Oh, my God, Tim Ream. Free kick for the United States, but boy, oh boy, this is not looking good. Liam is saying Turner doesn't even play for his club. Nope, he doesn't. They signed someone to bench him at Nottingham Forest. Matt Turner doesn't play. USMNT is US mid national team. We're not that mid. We just look mid. In terms of quality, it's not.
Yeah, don't worry, Tack. It's all about 2026. Until 2026, then it's about 2030.
Yeah, we're just preparing for understand, Pete, the goal is to win the 2050-something World Cup. So
that's the goal. That's the goal.
Don't worry about now.
That's not important.
No.
This is not important. Like the mentality that we were seeing, the interviews that they were giving before this game, we're playing exactly how those interviews are going. Like, oh, this is not really a goal for us.
Team.
Huh?
It's a defeated team mentality.
Yeah, this team is not here. Like, it doesn't look like they're ready to fight for this. Also, Gio's playing way too deep. We've conceded way too many chances. Tim Ream, oh my God, this might be the worst Tim Ream performance I've ever seen.
Well, what about Turner in that goal, the second one?
The second goal, Turner was poor. There's so many things to criticize. But overall, this whole team looks completely clueless. Completely clueless.
Yeah, and it's also concerning because this is not the best team in the Copa America. I would argue there's 3 teams better than this one, the Colombia side. So,
yeah. And but I think what's like, you can be outclassed. What we're really seeing is a team that has no ideas. There's no fight right now. They look shell-shocked. They look like deer in headlights. Like, what happened? We had to play against a soccer team. Like, what is this?
Yeah, and when one of our players gets the ball in the final third, like Pulisic had a play a couple minutes ago where he had nothing to do but to cut to his left and just whip it across. There's never something.
There's no combination play, no 1-2. Gio's way too deep on the field, in my opinion. Gio and McKennie should be switching places because McKennie's always higher up than Gio is. It's like we're trying to neuter him.
And what's crazy to me is a lot of these players have played together for a long time, and Berhalter's been in charge for 5 years. So, I just think at this point is even if someone goes and argues about, oh, nice play by Johnny.
That was very nice by Johnny. Yeah, I thought that was Gio for a second.
No, Johnny and Gio have been fine when they have the ball. But the thing with it, too, is at this point, and I know we're beating a dead horse at this point, this team needs a new coach. It needs new ideas. It needs a new vibe, something different, energy, a coach that changes the mentality, the approach. It just needs this. I don't understand how U.S. soccer doesn't see this or doesn't want to see it. If we can't get it done against Colombia, what's the goal for 2026? Get out of the group and we're happy? That's it? Get out of the group. That's all we want to do. Because if that's the goal, then sure, keep Berhalter. You might get that done. Maybe. I don't know, man. I'm a firm believer that coaching is more than just selecting the players. It's
Well,
more than
duh.
just scouting.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that some people believe that. I really don't. Stanley's saying, I fail to understand why we're so slow to get the ball up the field when we have it. Fullbacks sit with the ball and ponder. Well, I just think it's a system that's very rigid. There's too many instructions with the play. Greg Berhalter is implementing positional play. If you don't know what positional play is, go look it up. It's very similar to what Pep Guardiola does. The difference is Pep Guardiola has the players for multiple months. And even with Pep Guardiola, positional play kills fluidity of a team. It doesn't matter for how long you have it. It just does. It's a more rigid, more methodical style of play.
And it
Which,
only works if you have teams full of world-class players.
yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Like, in other words, you know, Pep Guardiola, everyone wants to be Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola has endless money to spend on whoever he wants. So it's ridiculous to try to, anyway.
Yeah, and then we have this here, and then obviously the players look a bit clueless. It's a bit complex. They have to overthink where the ball is because our players don't look this lost with their teams. They don't look.
They almost all play better with their clubs, except maybe Gio, who doesn't actually. No, when Gio plays, he looks good too. It's just that he doesn't always play. Oh my God, Ream.
Ream has been shambolic so far.
This is the worst I've ever seen Ream play.
Yeah, it might be because he's not playing. He's rusty. Michael's saying we're going to get dogged by Brazil.
Gio.
I am a bit worried about Brazil because Brazil's also going to come with their starters rested.
Yeah. Well, right now, let's just get through this game and see how this goes. We need to at least make a comeback. 2-0 is nothing. You can come back from 2-0, but we need to see some fight and some ideas here.
Do you really believe with this mentality we can pull a comeback against a 2-0 deficit against Colombia?
No, we have to change it up. And I don't even mean necessarily change the players. Although maybe you could switch out CCV for Ream at halftime. But the mentality is really fucking poor, and I would switch Gio and McKennie's position because you're completely neutering Gio having him so deep.
And they're saying, Big Homie's saying, we're just passing the ball around with no confidence. Yeah, we talked about it. It seems like there's no fight, no passion.
This is always how they play under Berhalter, right? Like,
well, they absorb the personality of the coach. We talked about this multiple times. This is not just us making up some bullshit theory on soccer. Teams absorb the personality of the coach. We talked about multiple examples. Man City with Pep, also Atletico Madrid of Simeone, and even smaller scale coaches. They absorb that personality. This kind of looks like Berhalter. Johnny wins it again. Johnny's been good.
Yeah, he gave it away. He ran it into midfield and lost it, but then got back in the hustle. Johnny's been excellent today. Weah looks really poor so far, man. He's been doing the same Weah thing where he just runs down the right and then gives the ball away.
He's very one-dimensional, Timothy Weah.
Yeah, which is why he might be a better wingback.
It'll be interesting to see because Berhalter we'll see if he can get this team fired up, can make the right changes at halftime to try to pull a comeback here.
Why is Pulisic still taking set pieces?
Because he's in charge.
We literally have Gio on the field. Now watch, we score from this.
I hope so.
I hope
you're
so.
jinx. Stephen Agishi saying, I want the U.S. to lose in 2026 if Greg remains. I'll never want the U.S. to lose. But you probably don't have to wish that. If we're with Berhalter, we're probably going to get out of our group and lose to the first team that's better than us, or slightly better than us, or equal to us. First team that's equal to us will lose with Berhalter, because Mexico's not equal to us. We keep defeating them; they're not equal; they're worse.
Yeah, we have never beat somebody equal to or better than us. Never.
Jose 305 mid guy is saying, as Greg says, this is a learning experience. Yeah. We are the, how should we call this team at this point? It's not really the U.S. men's national team. It's
the kindergarten learning team. We're learning things.
Good Hustle FC. Good Hustle FC.
Can't even say good hustle though. What hustle?
Well, Berhalter. Well, the thing with the Good Hustle FC, it's not about if they hustled well or not. It's just like the soccer dad's like, hey guys, good hustle, even if they didn't do it. You just say good hustle. Good Hustle FC. It doesn't matter if you win. Doesn't matter if you lose. It's just good hustle, guys. Oh boy, Lord have mercy, FC.
It all looks so effortless with Colombia, you know? Oh, good work to win it back, Johnny. Let's go.
But also, look how Colombia, when they get the ball, everyone knows already where to be. Quick,
Oh, oh,
Gio.
it's almost an accidental goal.
Ooh, was it going to be an own goal?
I think it just hit Pulisic. I think it just bounced off Pulisic. That would have been a hilarious goal. Like Haji Wright.
My goodness. Yeah, be hey, chat. Let us know what should be the nickname of the U.S. men's national team because we gotta change it, man. I'm good. Could be Lord Have Mercy FC, Good Hustle FC, or SC if you guys want soccer club. I'm looking.
Pulisic tried to get out of the way. I think he was trying to duck so the cross could go into the box, and it just bounced off his head. Unless he did that on purpose. If he did that on purpose,
no, that was not on purpose, man.
I don't think that was on purpose at all. If you did that on purpose, that's a beautiful deflection.
Karl Marx is saying, Greg doing Greg things. I blame him. We'll always blame him. Greg FC. Triple GFC. The thing is, we'll talk about Greg because the thing is that we're tired of talking about Greg. Why don't we talk about the players that wanted him back?
Yeah, this is honestly what the players wanted. And not just that wanted him back, but are also buying into all of his stupidity slogans and how it's all about 2026 and telling us, the fans, before the game that we're not to expect much because this is not the be-all, end-all. We're just here to participate and have a fucking participation trophy camp. How about that? How about that fucking mentality?
Oh my goodness. Bare minimum FC. I don't know, man. We might be downgrading from the bare minimum. The way things are going, we might be downgrading. He has achieved the bare minimum usually for the most part, but we might downgrade that. Don't underestimate Greg. He might go below the bare minimum at some point. Seems like he's trying very hard. The one thing that I always thought about Berhalter when I look at him is I always wanted the US to have a coach that the players want to run through a brick wall for. Like you look at Jose Mourinho, as they were saying on Twitter these days, that guy was born to be a dictator. He was born, look at him, the charisma. He was born to be a dictator. He can just get the best out of you just from his aura.
He gets you to believe in yourself.
Exactly.
He gives you confidence. And he has high standards. He demands a lot from you.
Exactly. Now, Berhalter just seems like that corny uncle that just no one wants to be around. Cross goes into no one. Anthony Tina is saying, Greg, during the post-game conference, like, we don't have a Luis Diaz scoring goals in the Premier League. He did say that in the World Cup about Memphis Depay when we lost.
He said, he's played in the Champions League after Pulisic had won the Champions League the year before. We don't have anyone like that.
Scoring against Real Madrid in the semifinals.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, we don't have anyone like that. And was even Memphis scoring in the Champions League? Didn't he flop at Manchester and Barcelona?
He flopped at both of them. That's why he was in Marseille?
No, he went to Lyon, or he went to like Atletico Madrid at some point. I don't know where he is now.
Good work, Gio. Ooh. Okay, corner. That's where you want Gio, see? That's where you want Gio.
Steven Agishi saying, do you buy that Pulisic has too much power inside from keeping Greg Berhalter to continuing to take set pieces when he sucks so bad? USMNT is not Pulisic FC. I think Pulisic has a lot of power in the U.S. men's national team.
Oh, he's the face of the team.
He's the best player, too, so I think he
Terrible
does have
corner. Terrible corner.
For multiple reasons. He has a lot of power because he's the best player. He's very influential also in the locker room because he's been around for so long with all these players. I believe he does. Look, I'm fine with Pulisic having a lot of influence. He should have a lot of influence. I just don't think he should be in charge. But the thing with Berhalter, which has been quite clear for quite some time, is he likes to kind of kiss ass of the main guys. Like he'll do what
Adams.
Guys, he bowed to Tyler Adams in the Nations League. Tyler should, thank goodness he started and scored that goal, but he shouldn't have started Tyler Adams. after not playing for a year. He bows to the main guys, and Pulisic's one of those guys. And yeah, Pulisic has a lot of power for sure. I'm not saying Pulisic tells Berhalter what to do, but yeah, he has power. Karl Marx saying we should get Dan Hurley as our head coach. Who's Dan Hurley?
No idea. All right, I'll see you at halftime, okay?
All right, see ya. Dan Hurley is an American college basketball coach that's linked to the LA Lakers. Okay. And then Vega was saying, we bent over for Colombia. Yeah, we're getting screwed over by Colombia here. It's been a tough game for the U.S. so far. We're not playing well. Here comes Colombia again. Luis Diaz down the right, cuts inside again, shoots, blocked by McKinney. I believe it was Weston. And who else? Robbie Blaker saying Greg's teams are never as good as our part. We've never seen the United States under Berhalter have the whole be better than the sum of its parts. It's never happened. And I'm not overly confident that it ever will be under Berhalter. We've never seen it. So I don't know why anyone would believe it will change. Jose305 is saying because Greg is one of the boys in the locker room, doesn't push the players, no discipline, doesn't hold players accountable, just pace and power. Well, he holds players that I guess have some personality accountable. He held Gio Reyna accountable. He holds players that have like an attitude or have like a personality, which you need to have at this level. And as a coach, you have to be able to manage without neutering the players. Luis Diaz cuts it back. Ball goes through. Was that Lerma? And then Adam Wilton is saying, hire Peter Vermees from Sporting Kansas City. Doesn't have to fire him. No, let's keep him in Sporting Kansas City, man. Not with the U.S. Deadly Brian X is saying, the way this game is going, shouldn't have streamed on PH. Should have streamed on PH. What's PH? What is PH? Jurgen Flop is saying, suck it. Mexico, only Daddy Mexico has ever competed against. Dude, didn't you just lose 4-0 to Uruguay? Mexico keeps getting their asses kicked by the United States, man. When will Mexico fans just I can't deal with this right now. Augustus Alexander saying CONCACAF stinks, Berhalter stinks, but most importantly, these players are mentally weak. Being the best in CONCACAF means nothing at this point. It doesn't. CONCACAF is the worst confederation in the world outside of Oceania. If you had removed Oceania, we would be the worst confederation in the world. CONCACAF is the worst one. Jonathan Hernandez is saying we don't have a good defense. Turner isn't awful. Turner is or isn't awful? Because I'll just say one thing. Turner was definitely at fault in the second goal. The first goal can be debatable whatsoever. First goal, no. Sorry, second goal, definitely his fault. CONCACAF is JV soccer. Jonathan Hernandez saying the U.S. men's national team is built like an MLS team, no defense. We have good defenders. We have good defenders on paper. Tim Ream is not a bad center back. Chris Richards is a good center back. We have good players. But again, we've been playing like the thing is I don't really have anything to back what I'm saying. Joe Scally with the ball. Opens it up to McKinney. Finds Gio Reyna. Gio switches all the way to Christian Pulisic. Good cut from Pulisic. Good ball to Robinson. Gets a cross in. Cleared again. Yep. Not looking good. 2-0, 40 minutes. It seems like Colombia kind of slowed down. Slowed down after the second goal. Jacob is saying, I'm convinced Marsh would have been better than this. At least we'd be unpredictable. Your opponent can't know what you're going to do if you don't either. I mean, listen, Marsh just took a 4-0 loss to the Dutch. 4-0 loss to the Dutch of Canada. I don't know, man, if he would be a better option. The problem is, too, all the teams know how the U.S. plays at this point because Berhalter never changes. Nothing changes. Ball goes in. That's a bit dangerous. Johnny settles it back to Tim Ream. Anthony Robinson, no options. Opens out wide to Christian Pulisic. Pulisic dribbles one, dribbles two, finds Johnny, still has it. Johnny, don't pass it back. That ball shouldn't have gone back. Guys, let's be honest. Jesse Marsh's ass. Let's just be honest here. And not a good ass, like a bad ass. Even though, like, bad in a bad way. I know English is kind of confusing at times, isn't it? Because if you say badass, it's like nice, and or they still say a girl is bad, and that means the girl's attractive. By bad, I mean he's just ass. It's just ass, like shit. That's what I'm saying. Marsh is not good. English can be confusing, man. Can be very confusing at times. Yeah, Jesse Marsh is stinky ass. That's what he is, a stinky ass. Alexander Mantoof is saying Euro guys are soft, missing McBride, Dempsey. I don't know if they're soft. Oh, good switch. I think that was McKennie to. Oh, Pulisic was off. I don't know if the fact that they accept Berhalter in general, yes, that does speak of their mentality. I just think this team needs a coach that can fire them the fuck up. That's what they need. They need someone that will shake things up. When you look at Berhalter, the guy has no aura. He has the aura of a basset hound. Has anyone ever seen a basset hound? Yeah, they put you to sleep. They're nice to like, cuddle with. I wouldn't really cuddle with Berhalter. So he's worse than Berhalter. Oh, sorry, Berhalter is worse than a basset hound. Because at least you can cuddle with a basset hound. No one here wants to cuddle with Berhalter. Colombian possession. Again, the players from Colombia know what they're doing when they have the ball, and they're not slow. They move the ball quick, and they know how to change the pace of the game. We don't do that. Alvaro Bazan is saying CONCACAF's not working. If we had a restructure what would you do to help all national teams in it? If FIFA was smart, they would take full control. There's too much potential that they keep wasting. It's very complicated with CONCACAF. I think the U.S. improving in general will improve the region over time, but I do think the problem lies in the United States. Usually what elevates the region, it would probably be the top nation. So we need Mexico to be better, and we need the United States to be better, and probably Jamaica to get their act together. I wouldn't really count on Canada. I don't think they're one of the top teams in the region. And if the U.S. improves, Canada will naturally go up because they're involved with Major League Soccer and the academies. The Canadian players will just get better. It's just a matter of like the U.S. doing better, Mexico doing better. That's what will drag the region up. I do think CONCACAF, the smaller teams in CONCACAF, a lot of them have improved. The problem is Mexico has gotten worse. Costa Rica has gotten worse the past few years. And the U.S. has gotten better, but we have our own issues with the Federation and Berhalter. It's a bit complicated of what they would do. There's also a lot of corruption going on in CONCACAF. There would have to be better investments, improve the infrastructure of a lot of countries. I do think also domestic soccer in CONCACAF is just very poor. It's just very bad. That's why the CONCACAF Champions Cup is just horrible. The CONCACAF region is essentially like Liga MX versus MLS. It has to improve as a whole, and all these other countries don't have it. It's very complex and very complicated. There's still no excuses for the United States to not be better, though. Samuel Acosta is saying, would you like Joe Scally to play as a center back? Nope. Was very shaky on defense. Oh, and Bohe just missed an opportunity. Could have gotten another goal for Colombia. Nope. I saw him play as a center back for Borussia Mönchengladbach. I did not like it. So, no. I would not like to see Scally playing as a center back. He was very shaky in the Bundesliga when he played as a center back. Traden Cole is saying, non-biased, Johnny has been fantastic. Johnny has been good. I thought Johnny had a few poor passes when it came to long-range passing, but Johnny looked good in the first half. I think Berhalter is going to be interviewed right now. Is he? I don't know. Ottman Zaire saying, you're basically saying we have good players, just bad management. I think, yes, we do have good players. We have bad management. He can't really get these players fired up. He can't get the mentality right. And the players look clueless in the field. The problem is this, Ottman, and this is what I'll say. I watch these players every single week. I cover them every week. I watch them play for their clubs every freaking week, sometimes 2, 3 times a week. I am always watching it. And then when they come from the national team, these players look like different players for the worse, not for the better, for the worse. So I'm literally watching these guys every week, and then I go watch for the national team. They all look worse. If one or two players look bad, that's on the player. When every single player looks worse, who do you blame? What's the common denominator? Why is it that sometimes some national teams or even club teams, they change a coach and everything changes? The vibe, the aura, the mentality, everything. Me and Pete watch these players every freaking week. So we're comparing how they play with their clubs to the national team. And almost every single player in the national team looks worse for the national team. Almost all of them. And there's only one common denominator there.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, again, we've been saying this for how long now? It doesn't change. Like, it's the same shit over and over again.
Pete, first thoughts here in this first half that to me was we didn't create enough. I don't think we played well. Colombia almost got a third goal towards the end. They move the ball a lot faster. They move it faster. They disorganize. Here's the thing that pisses me off about Berhalter. He said he wanted to disorganize the opponent with the ball. You disorganize the opponent with the ball by moving it around fast.
Yeah.
Making the defense shift. Every time we get the ball, we're so slow with it. And I've seen these, what is it?
No, go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
I've seen these players play for their teams, and they're fast with the ball. They can move it fast. They can disorganize the opponent with the ball. With Berhalter, we're always slow. It always looks horrible. Everyone looked like shit. Like, for the most part, I thought Gio and Johnny were fine. Gio and Johnny did fine in the midfield for what they were supposed to do. Outside of that, it was mostly shit or mediocre.
So I watched what what Greg said to the reporter at halftime, right before he walked off the field. And he said, we need to be patient and look for opportunities to cross the ball. He literally said that. I kid you not. He was like, we need to be more patient and look for other opportunities to cross the ball. Enough said. That's what he's going to say at halftime. Guys, not enough crossing. Be more patient until you have a chance to cross. I can't. I mean, look, this team plays exactly like we expected them to play based on the comments. Like, if you're saying this doesn't matter, the goal is 2026, this is just a learning opportunity, why would you come out, especially in a friendly, why would you come out fit and firing? Why would you come out aggressive and confident? And no, you're just going to, and also we look so disorganized. That's the other thing, right? You could say whatever you want about Greg, not being able to break down teams, but it's not just that. The back line looks like they've never met each other before. Right? They look so disorganized. Tim Ream is having an absolute shocker of a game, almost bad enough to put CCV on in the second half, to be honest. A-Rob's had some very uncharacteristic mistakes. Richards has mostly been fine. You know what? I want to give Joe Scally some credit. He hasn't looked as bad against Luis Diaz as I thought he might. Particularly in that 1v1 moment in transition where he got caught, he actually did well to get between him and the goal and win the foul and clear the ball. So I'm going to give Scally some credit. Early on, he looked a little nervy, but to be honest, against Luis Diaz, so far in open play, he's looked pretty good. He hasn't been good with his crossing, for sure. Mm-hmm. He hasn't looked good with his crossing, but he definitely hasn't looked outmatched against Luis Diaz. So I'm going to give him some credit there.
I thought Richards was also fine for the most part, besides one cross where he didn't clear it properly.
Yeah, the little back heel. But again, all these dumb mistakes from so many players who normally aren't like this is so uncharacteristic,
Yeah, it's always the same. Michael's saying, all I'm going to say is with this roster, I beat the Netherlands 2-0 in Football Manager. I volunteer to coach. Yeah, I've done better with Football Manager at the U.S. also, for whatever that's worth. Jonathan's saying, get Tyler Adams in. Yeah, get him in, sure. What does that change? That's my question.
Yeah, and who are you going to take him out for? The only guy who's playing well is Johnny.
Johnny and Gio, you take who out?
Well, unless you take McKennie out and you put two defensive midfielders and just let Gio stay high, I'd be open to that, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll be okay with that. Take McKennie out, put Tyler and Johnny. and then Gio doesn't have to drop deep. Yeah, sure.
Because he was dropping way too deep.
Yep. And then what Greg's going to do is he's going to put Yunus Musa for McKennie. He always does these like for like subs, 6 for half a dozen. He loves doing the 6 for half a dozen. Shaq Moore for Scally.
Oh, yeah. We're going to probably see that at some point.
Ben Deros is saying Horvath needs to come in. Turner looks off. Here's the question to you. Would you give Horvath a shot against Brazil?
Maybe. I mean, Matt Turner's culpable on both goals. Not fully culpable, but definitely could have done better on both goals. And combined with, his Trinidad and Tobago mistake, for example, combined with his poor form for Nottingham and getting dropped, it does seem like he's not as reliable as, he once was, because he was very reliable in Qatar. But this is looking a little bit scary. And if you're going to make a change, you want to see how Horvath looks before we get into Copa, right?
Yeah, and then what else here? I think the second goal was mostly on Turner. I thought that was abysmal. It wasn't even a tough shot, man. It's just reflexes, being prepared. That guy, it's getting really tiresome. Stanley's saying, did Greg just say that we need to be patient and cross? Yes, Pete confirmed that. He is a legit fraud. He is a fraud. And we are tired of this man. And he said, dude, this guy is either very Christian and very into crosses, or he's just a fucking lunatic at this point. He's a psychopath that just wants to cross in the game. I don't know what's wrong with this man.
And also, when you have 5'8" Balogun as your striker and Pulisic, who's not tall either, crashing in the box, why is crossing your first instinct? Oh, we got to cross. It's one thing if you had Peter Crouch in the box. Still not a great strategy, and it's very one-dimensional. But at least then it makes a little bit more sense. But instead, you have Pulisic and Balogun crashing the box, neither of whom is above 6 feet. Why? Why would crossing be your primary attacking? That's what he said, literally. It wasn't like we need to do anything else, blah, blah, blah. It was just like, yeah, we need to be patient for opportunities to cross.
I can't with this, man. Yeah, they said, Frank Gasper's also saying, Berhalter just said we need to cross more.
Also, why is Gio not taking set pieces? We had good 2 set piece opportunities that Pulisic took. We should have Gio on those. We haven't learned yet that Gio's the guy for set pieces.
My goodness. Dude is okay. Ruben Duran saying, long time no see. A-Rob sucks so bad. Why do we play through him? Hopeless crosses FC. A-Rob doesn't suck. Here's the issues with A-Rob. One, it was a poor decision in the first goal. He doesn't suck. He's poorly utilized by Berhalter. A-Rob is not technical enough to operate in tight spaces, help on the build-out. He can work with his verticality. If you put a through ball and he just has to whip in a low cross, he'll work. In possession, you can't have him help on the build-out, and you can't have him in tight spaces. He doesn't play well there.
And Fulham doesn't have him do that, by the way. They understand his limitations, and they set him up to be successful.
Well, maybe their coach is not a bald moron. That's probably why. Maybe he's bald. I don't know, but he's not a moron. Trick Shot Cooler is saying USA are going to absolutely get torched in the Copa America. Berhalter is top trash bag on the pile of garbage of international managers. Get rid of pay to play, and the whole new pool of undiscovered talent would be at their disposal. Pay to play getting fixed is a long-term fix, which I'm all for, because that will fix us for the long term. Getting rid of Berhalter and hiring a legit coach right now would fix the short-term issues. Thank you for the super chat, and we agree. I agree, and I'm sure Pete does with everything you said. Dude, the problem is, Pete, is the way we're playing right now, we are 2 weeks away from Copa America. Is it going to change? Because this is what we always see.
Yeah. We see nothing different so far. This is the same shit that we've been seeing for 5 years. 5 years of this.
What's going to change?
I don't know, man. It's so disheartening. We had to bring this guy back. We had a chance to fucking let him go and hire a Matarazzo or a Vieira or somebody else or her Renard. Somebody
no one. Just keep BJ. It's better than Berhalter. No one.
BJ. Dude, look how fluid we looked under BJ. The only time we've ever looked fluid in the last 5 years was under BJ and Hudson, both. Since then, nothing. It's since Greg has come back, it's been even more constipated, if that's possible, than it was in his first cycle.
And the worst part is he's even better with his rosters and player selection. Imagine if he kept that. At least he fixed that. which was also the bare minimum. Like
Again, that's
95%,
though.
95% of the roster picks itself at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, we can just have AI pick the roster. If the coaching job is just to pick the roster, just have AI pick the roster and tweak a few things because AI is still not quite there yet.
Courtside Manor is saying, how much longer do the pro Berhalter crowd continue to blame the players for the continual bad play? I do blame the players too, because a lot of them, or at least some of them, were outspoken about Berhalter returning.
Yeah, this is what they wanted. Okay, Tim Weah, Tyler Adams, Christian Pulisic specifically were not just outspoken about him coming, but singing his praises. Look, if you don't want him back, but you don't want to lose your spot, there's so many ways to say welcome back without kissing his ass. You can be like, hey, yeah, look, the Federation decided that he's the guy for the job, and we're looking forward to having success and figuring out a way to be successful. Like, that's a completely acceptable answer. But they were like, Tyler Adams was calling him the best international manager in history or something along, one of the brightest minds in the world. Pulisic was like, the haters gonna hate, but I love it. So it's like, okay, well, this is what you fuckers wanted.
Yeah, they wanted it. And
not all of them. Pepe, Gio, Scally probably didn't want this. Scally was quite outspoken about not wanting it back.
Yes, and Gio would have said something if he was allowed to.
If he was allowed to, but poor guy. Like, yeah. So the players should bear some responsibility, not only for their mentality, but also because they endorsed this. This is what they wanted. They wanted more of this.
The thing is, like anything in life, when you have a strong leadership, a good leader, and that's what the coach is. He's the leader of the group. He's in command. When you have a strong leadership, the mentality, the everything, the energy, everything trickles down. And with the U.S. men's national team, it never does. And again, Berhalter also doesn't adapt this team ever. So at this point, every single team that scouts like 3 games, they know exactly how the U.S. will play. And with good coaches, they know how to cancel it out very easily. If you just contain the U.S., just contain. You don't go for the tackle, just contain. We're super slow when we get the ball, and we're clueless. You don't have to steal the ball from the U.S. If you just contain, the team is completely clueless, and we give the ball away.
Yeah, and then you have a good counterattacking opportunity.
Yeah. Have you noticed no teams actually go they don't press us much. They let us have it. They just contain it, and they're like, they'll give it away. Don't worry. Yeah. They know how we play.
Yeah.
TS is saying, always appreciate the coverage. Jedi and Turner let the team down. Not only bad pieces, but still, they're like we say, it's not just 1 or 2 players. Most of them did, but Jedi in the first goal was most of it. And Turner, I don't know, man. For me, that second goal for Turner was abysmal goalkeeping, that second goal.
Yeah.
Mamba Mental is saying, unpopular choices. What about Thomas Tuchel and Xavi? This team needs an identity. Xavi also is a positional play guy.
Yeah.
No sir.
No,
and Tuchel, he's gonna.
I mean, look, would we take him over Berhalter? Probably.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I'll take both of those over Berhalter.
Sure. I just don't know. I think the best candidate right now is Matarazzo. That is the best realistic candidate, in my opinion.
Is Hervé Renard not available?
Well, he would be because he's coaching the French women's team, right? And after the Olympics, it's over. So he'll be. Hervé Renard is available. And so is Matarazzo.
Mm-hmm. Dalton is also saying, do you think we just have a bunch of role players on big clubs but no stars? Well, what about Colombia? They have 1 star.
Yeah.
They have 1 star. It's not about that. That's the overall point. Look at Morocco. Because you can go and talk about Hakimi being a star. Hakimi's not a star for PSG. He's a role player for PSG. A starter. He's a starter for PSG.
Yeah.
And Morocco made it to the semifinals. And Pulisic's not really a role player for Milan. He's one of their best forwards.
Yeah.
He had more goal contributions in the Serie A than Leao. He's not a role player. Musa's a role player, but he's on the bench. Johnny's not a role player for Real Betis. He's a starter for Real Betis.
Yeah.
Way as a role player. So there's a mix, but there are players there that are not role players. They're starters, and some of them are top players for their clubs.
But again, compared to the opponent who is full of role players also, right? It's not like they're just all these stars either. So Haji's coming on. I wonder for who. Not Weah, because Weah's on the field.
Maybe Joe Scally and Weah becomes the right back. We'll see. Jeff is saying we suck less than Mexico. I mean, CONCACAF is a freaking horrible region. I'll tell you that. So that's a very low bar these days, CONCACAF. The casual guy is saying that stat line with Berhalter in top 20 FIFA teams during the interview is hilarious. All those wins are against Mexico. Yeah, Mexico and horrible CONCACAF teams. Haji Wright's coming on for whom?
I don't know. It's
Go-
either Balo or Pulisic.
He wouldn't take out Pulisic unless there's like an injury.
I mean, you would think not.
Weah's there.
Yeah, Way is there.
GhostCar21 saying, have we ever won against a South American team? Honestly, at this point, I don't believe we can beat Bolivia. What the F are we watching? TAC, please apply for head coach. We defeated Brazil in the 1998 Gold Cup. We defeated Argentina in the Copa America in 1995. So if you're asking history, yes, we defeated South American teams in competitive games. And friendlies, of course. We can go to friendlies. We defeated Ecuador in the last Copa America. I know it's not as good as that. And Richard Rios from Palmeiras is coming on for Colombia. Good midfielder. Starter for in and out of Palmeiras lineup. So but under Berhalter, we played Ecuador early on with Berhalter. I don't remember the result for that game.
Didn't we beat them? Or was
I
that
think
under Dave
so.
Sarakin?
I don't remember now. 08. I don't remember 2018 and 2019 right now too much. Besides like the summer, I remember like
We
us
beat
playing
Bolivia 3-1 under Sarakin. I remember that because Sargent got a brace.
But Bolivia doesn't count.
No. I'm still trying to figure out who Haji Wright is on for, but they're not saying it on the screen.
No.
It
Matthew
has to be
Dominguez
Pulisic, I think.
saying Turner looks horrible. Why is Weston McKennie playing high up? I don't know. Berhalter loves to put Weston McKennie high up the field like that.
Yeah.
Mark Mitchell saying we need a new right winger. Weah's not a right wing anymore. I don't disagree with that. Put Pulisic on the right wing. Weah's a right back. I don't disagree with that.
So who came out? They still haven't told us. They announced it. They said Pulisic is off. So he's got to be injured, right? You wouldn't take off Pulisic unless he's injured.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Weird, right?
All right, second half is kicked off. Yeah, Pulisic's off. Very strange.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have to see why Pulisic was off early.
Let's see if Twitter has any information. Sometimes they'll announce it.
Yeah, because why would you rotate him out so early? Even if he's like, you're resting him, why are you resting him because after the Brazil game, we're still like 10 days away from the first game. So Pulisic can play these two games just fine.
Yeah. Taking off Pulisic. I'm not sure what happened here.
Oh, Scally, bad chest. Luis Diaz, good recovery from Johnny again. Johnny does a good job cleaning up whenever it's a mess, he just cleans it up and finds someone with a quick pass. Misconstrue is saying Greg would make prime Messi look bad. Probably not. Probably not that bad. James is saying this is about the same result we would expect in 2018 when Greg took over, but we are way stronger with players. What the hell are we waiting for? Exactly. In 2018, we would expect Colombia to beat us, control us. And 6 years later, Berhalter actually took charge in 2019. So 5 years later, with better players, the guy's been in charge for 5 years, and we're getting the same result.
Well, 5.5 years by now.
Yep. Davian Films is saying must be a record for number of games with no play style. If Berhalter's going for that record.
Did somebody say managing his minutes? How are we managing Pulisic's minutes?
Milan has been playing him Wednesday and Sunday every week.
I mean, I guess they're it's precautionary. They don't want it to injure him, but okay. It's weird. It's kind of weird, especially considering how we're looking right now in this game.
Watch us play better without Pulisic.
So far, it still looks like all Colombia right now.
Church of Petrol is saying, I'm getting so fired up. My poor cat, bro. Your cat? What are you doing to your cat? Getting fired up.
Yeah, don't touch your cat.
What is going on? Aaron Long's big stick is saying, this is what happens when we have all Euro play. Oh, it would have been worse if you were playing Aaron Long. It would have been worse. Gabe the American. How you doing, Gabe? By the way, everyone, the second half has started. Let me put this on screen. Second half has started. Gabe the American saying, can't expect to play through the press with fullbacks who can't play in tight spaces and with a keeper that can't get the ball. At least Johnny looks good. That is also a good observation. You want to play out of the back, and both of your fullbacks are not the most technical, and the goalkeeper can't also use his feet. Oh, Haji right?
Haji's been looking pretty good so far.
Mm-hmm. Good move right there. Didn't really lead up to anything.
No, but you could see something different.
Manuel Llanes is saying, you're in charge at halftime. What are the changes y'all do? It's less about the players, Manuel, we were talking about. It's more about playing style, of how you go. And you have to fire up your players. You have to get the mentality right. And I don't know. Tactically, I would definitely not try to play out of the back with the players we have. I would also put McKennie in a double pivot with Johnny, and I would push Gio Reyna high up the field. Those are basic adjustments I would have done, at least at halftime.
Yeah, same. I don't know about pulling off Pulisic, but I mean, let's see what Haji looks like this half. I just want to see some fire, some aggression, some intensity here.
But we saw that also in the World Cup. This team just didn't seem to have it in them.
No. Well, how can you when you have to overthink every decision? You don't have time for fire. It's just
they only have it against Mexico. Because Mexico's terrible also. That must be said. Jonathan Hernandez is saying our guys are not as good as we think that. Oh, I think, like we talked about, we see them for their clubs, and that's a much larger data that we have on them, and they're good. So I don't agree with that. Why is it that a player like Anthony Robinson that holds his own in the Premier League week in and week out, and then he just sucks, Anthony Robinson, for us, like this?
Free kick. So is Gio going to take the free kick now since Pulisic is off?
I would hope so. Pedro Jr. is weak coach, but we beat Mexico, though. Yeah, I mean, it seems like everyone beats Mexico these days.
That's not hard these days.
No. Over, under on 10 goals for Brazil, United States. Under. Brazil's not going to score that much in the U.S. Still hoping we'll put up a fight, but no, they're not scoring 10 goals in the U.S. That's not happening. Cantrip saying beating Mexico isn't where our goal line should be.
Oh! That is why you have Gio on set pieces.
I didn't see it. You're ahead, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Good delivery. Ooh. Over the top of the net. Who headed that? McKennie?
That was a great delivery right there. It was Haji. And that's why.
Yeah, that was a good delivery. It's crazy because they keep doing that. Keep playing Pulisic with the set piece. They keep putting Pulisic on the set pieces, and it's always shit.
Yeah.
Cantrip saying beating Mexico. Yeah, he said that. R. Lubin saying, I'll take Tuchel and Terzic, to be honest. Both knockout tournament merchants, which is suited for them. Thing is, over Berhalter, we'll take any of these guys with like legitimate experience at a high level.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Tuchel, yeah, for knockout tournaments, they work. I'm not so sure on Terzic. Haji? Hey, Haji hasn't been bad, man. Good start.
Haji's looked quite good.
Good for him.
Looked quite good.
A-Rob tries to get across. Colombia's able to clear it. Jonathan Hernandez is, they made me think Jedi was top in the league. Well, he's not a top left back in the Premier League, but he's a legit left back in the Premier League. He's not bad in the Premier League. He's a mid-table left back in the Premier League. Bring back the BJ Callahan. Well, BJ is there as the assistant to the regional manager, Greg Berhalter. East Deadbolt saying Greg Berhalter, Darvin Ham. These players just look they look intimidated whenever a co-player is nearby. They look scared. They look threatened. They look frightened. They look clueless. It's very weird. Who's Darvin Ham?
Gio. Better. His second one, he tried to shoot it, and it went over.
Jeremy's saying, I'm tired of this effing team ruining my day. I'm sitting here shaking with anger while we chase the game. I'm so tired of this. Yeah, this is another thing that gets people to tune out. We keep playing like this, and people get tired of it. And we have the Copa America coming up. If the team still looks like this, it's Jeremy, me and you both. We share the same sentiment. Kyle is saying, ex-L3 fan here. Pulisic, we need you, bro. Glad you switched from L3 to the US, and I'm sorry that we haven't really made you proud outside of the Mexico games. That's when the US makes everyone proud. Outside of that, it's kind of rough. Gio, oh, bad 1-2 with A-Rob. Mike P. The players wanted this. Greg Berhalter. Yep, a lot of the players did want this. John Clark, 2016, we beat Ecuador in the Copa America. Balogun has looked bad. I think he has looked like a ghost. Hasn't really done much.
We've never gotten him the ball. Remember, if your strategy is to cross the ball, which we haven't even really done, to be honest, we've never really gotten him the ball. It's very hard to judge Balogun on no service.
Did almost score one. Had a nice finish, and it was saved on the line.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys.
See you soon, Pete. Sebastian Scooch Hurtado saying Gareth Southgate said in 2022, try an MLS team. Gareth Southgate is going to coach an MLS team. Good for him. He also sucks, man. Gareth Southgate sucks ass. He's terrible. Probably as bad, if not worse, than Berhalter. Church of Petrol saying, fellas, the joke is that I'm yelling at TV and my cat doesn't like it. I would never abuse an animal. Good. Good. Thank you for clarifying that. It just sounded a bit weird when I read it. I was almost certain that you wouldn't abuse an animal. And yeah, I mean, instead of a cat, get a basset hound. They sleep through. If you're yelling on TV, cursing it out, basset hounds just sleep through it. They're very big, very fat, and they just sleep all day. Cats are smarter than dogs. I prefer dogs. I'm a dog guy, but cats are smarter. Colombian possession right now. And Colombia just kind of gave the ball to the U.S. here in the second half. And we didn't do much with it so far besides the set piece with Gio Reyna. Ravens Medical saying Christian Pulisic is dealing with a mild muscular injury. He had a pronounced limp at halftime per reports. I'll dig more into it and keep you updated. So, Ravens Medical, thank you for the update. He's injured, apparently. Not 100%. Okay, Haji, nice. Cuts inside, switches, shoots over the... Haji Wright has been a bright... He's been pretty good, man. Haji Wright's been good since he came on at halftime. Carlos Membrano is saying the Gio-Haji combo will save us again. Good ball from Gio to Haji right there. And then Haji kind of does it on his own. Not a great shot, but he still managed to get the shot off. Alvaro Bazan saying Berhalter and Lozano did a fusion to become a single coach. They would still make Rudy Garcia look better than prime Pep and Ancelotti. Who's Rudy Garcia? Jonathan Francois is saying, who do you think will win the Euros? I'm between two countries. I'm between France, because I still think they're the best team in Europe. Probably one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. And Germany. I think Germany, they have a good enough team, new coach, playing at home. So I'm between France and Germany to win the Euros. Victor is saying, you are some crazy Gio Glazers. I'm two. He's mad good. He's good. Gio's good. And on set pieces, he's been great. I thought he's been okay in this game. He hasn't been fantastic. But Gio on set pieces is really good. And he's been fine. In a game that most players are not playing well, Gio's looked fine. Banksy for president saying BJ is not the answer. Greg's just that bad. No, BJ Callahan is definitely not the answer. It's just we know Greg Berhalter ain't it. We just need to get someone else. And everyone, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you, everyone that supported the channel and everything else, and everyone that hit the like button in this video. We appreciate the support. And if you're in Orlando this week, make sure to join our Patreon, because we'll be doing a pickup game for the Patreon members. Thank you very much, everyone. And Trick Shot Cooler, thank you for the super chat, saying, every time I watch the U.S., I'm so thankful I was born in Germany and can legit have them as my number one team. We haven't been good lately. Germany, yes, they haven't been good lately, but at least we're in the conversation every tournament. Yeah, I mean, because Germany has great players. It's about figuring it out. I think Germany is one of the favorites to win the Euros. Weah, good pass. The U.S. go. Go. Tim Weah. Good finish from Weah. Who put that through ball? Was that Haji? Was that Haji Wright? Are we back? Are we so back? So that was Johnny opens up to Gio. Gio to Haji. No, it was Balogun. Balogun to Weah. Okay, let's see if we're back now. Good finish from Tim Weah. Great ball from Balogun. That was Balogun. Everyone that criticized Balogun, that was a brilliant pass right there. So 2-1, 30 minutes to go. We'll see how Colombia behaves now that we scored, if they kind of wake up and become, Luis Diaz versus Scally. Diaz goes through Scally. Good job from Scally. Good job from Scally. Hey, good job from Scally right there. Defensively, Scally has been fine. Okay, Weah. Nope. Okay, looks like we might be back. I thought one of the bright spots from the United States here, this game, has been Joe Scally defensively. On the ball, he's not great. I agree with that. But we don't have Dest, and we're going to have to play very tough teams like Uruguay. And then it just comes to how do you deal with their wingers, whoever plays there, Arrascaeta, De La Cruz. Valverde doesn't really play out wide for them. And Joe Scally has held his own against Diaz. And the only players in the Copa America or wingers better than Diaz would be players like Messi, Vinicius. So I think it's been a very encouraging game from Joe Scally in that sense. It's kind of crazy that the U.S. is playing better in the second half with, what's his name, without Christian Pulisic. Haji Wright has been very good off the bench. Makes you wonder, or you can't bench Pulisic, by the way, just to make that clear. You can't bench Pulisic. I'm not for benching Pulisic. That's not what I'm saying. Tim Ream with the ball. Opens it. Joe Scally will find Timothy Weah. Weston McKennie to Weah, dispossessed. And Colombia will recover the ball. Gio, look at Gio playing defense right there, cutting. Colombia had a moment that they could hit us in transition right there, and Gio Reyna stopped the counterattack. Look at Gio playing defense. And here comes Colombia. Again in transition, Luis Diaz cuts inside. Oh, hit the post. Oof. Luis Diaz cut Chris Richards. He beat Matt Turner and hit the post. We got lucky. Lucky's part of the game, but we got lucky right there. Diaz against Richards. And then he beat Matt Turner and it hit the post. John Duran, former Chicago Fire. He's being subbed in now at the 61st minute. Guys, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Stephen Nagishi is saying this team does look alive without Pulisic. Yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't know if it's a change in behavior, mentality. Haji Wright also came in and played very well. I don't know if Pulisic was a bit injured. But by no means I would say bench Pulisic. We can't bench Pulisic. There's no way that's happening. Guys, I'll be back in 1 minute. I'm going to put a quick word from our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Hit the like button in the meantime. I'll be back in a minute because I'm going to go get coffee because I need to wake up more. And don't worry, I went to the restroom prior to the stream because you guys know how I operate, right? I drink coffee and then I poop a lot and then I get tired. So I can't go to the bathroom now. And Cameron Carter-Vickers is being subbed in for Tim Ream, and Malik Tillman is being subbed in for who? Hold on. I'm going to put the ad as soon as I know. Carter-Vickers for Tim Ream and Malik Tillman for Gio Reyna. Probably rotation right there. And it's good to see Tillman. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'll be back in a minute after the ad is gone. Hit the like button. See you soon.
Underdog Fantasy is a fun game to play prior to any soccer match or basketball, football as well. You know, it just adds an extra excitement to the game. And this summer, I will be playing Underdog Fantasy during the Copa America and Euros. You can download the app by using the link in the description of this video and use the promo code TMTV. Yes, please, don't forget to use the code. And let me tell you why. Sign up with the code TMTV to claim your special pick plus a first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. The game I mainly play is called Pick'em. I just click on it, scroll to the soccer section, and pick a player for the specific match.
Nah, man, I'm ending it early. We're in the middle of the game. We got to watch the game. I'm ending this ad early. You guys can use the promo code TMTV. Link is in the description. Here comes Colombia with Diaz. Pass to the middle. Borja with the finish. Turner finally does something competent and saves it. See how much more energy I have after I get some coffee? Matt Turner with a nice save. But it does feel like after we scored, it was actually James with the finish. Colombia kind of woke up. And Carter Vickers kind of messed up right there. That's on Carter Vickers. Kind of scary, right? Because in the first half, Tim Ream didn't play well. And then now we put Carter Vickers, which is his backup, and he doesn't play well. Corner goes in, cleared by Chris Richards. Turner is still shit. Yeah, Turner still has blame. But hey, props to Turner. Finally made a good save. Trick Shot Cooler is saying, have to deal with Roland Araujo versus Uruguay as well. Roland Araujo is a defender, though. So you mean our forwards will have to deal with Araujo from Barcelona. And Alexander is saying Messi ruined this team. I don't know what Messi has to do with this team. Just probably a Ronaldo fan. Okay, Carter Vickers tries to head. What is going on with Cameron Carter Vickers? What is going on? Was the dude just taking a nap? Okay, Tillman. Okay, good ball from Tillman to A-Rob. Will he get there? Nope. Throw in for the United States. 65 minutes. We're almost hitting minute 69. We are getting there. The big moment. The moment we've been waiting for. And if you haven't already, make sure to smash the like button for this stream. If you want to, of course. I can't force you to do anything. But let's see here. 850 likes. Let's try to hit 1,000. And I promise you, we will tie this game. I always keep my promises. Oh, boy. Bad pass. Bad pass right there. And that'll go back to Colombia. Hey, I did predict that this game would be 2-2. I did predict it. Don't make promises you can't keep. I've always kept my promises. Every time I say we hit 1,000 likes, the U.S. scores, it happens. I have no influence on it, but I am very superstitious, and I believe in it. I believe it'll happen. Colombia, Richard Rios with the ball. Munoz back to Lukumi. Davidson Sanchez out wide. Colombia trying to build out of the back, play around the United States' press. And they do play out around the United States' press. And here comes Luis Diaz from a pass through James Rodriguez. Bad pass from Luis Diaz. Anthony Robinson. Let's be quick in transition when we get the ball away, Rob. McKennie. Go wide way. McKennie. And Colombia recovers the ball. Minute 66. Still 2-1. Diaz. James. Is that a foul from Scally? That's fine. Good job there from Joe Scally. I'm going to keep saying this. I think that Joe Scally has been a positive this game. Been really liking his performance defensively. Free kick here. That was a smart free kick from Joe Scally. 956 likes. We're almost at 1,000. Almost at 1,000. Easton Saints poetic that Berhalter versus Southgate ended 0-0. That's the only result they can pull. Man, England just lost to Iceland preparing to the Euros. People are trying to convince me that England will win the Euros because they look at this team on paper and they're just like, oh my God, they have Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham, and Harry Kane, and then Saka. Look at this team. They're so brilliant. But the midfield is not that good. The defense is terrible. And the coach is a complete idiot, along with England being big-time chokers. They are not winning the Euros in Germany. I am sorry. It's not happening. If they play France, they'll lose. If they play Germany in Germany, they'll lose. They'll probably lose to Spain. Okay? England ain't winning the Euros. They'll even lose to Italy that can't qualify to the World Cup, but they will in 2026. England will not win the Euros. I should probably make some bet on Twitter about that. And I'll probably do some live streams for the Euros, mainly England, just to hate watch. Anthony Robinson down the left sends in a cross, and that'll be clear. The goalkeeper catches the ball. Yeah, it was almost an own goal. And here comes Colombia in transition. Matt Turner. Oh, Matt Turner, what are you doing, man? That was out of the box, you idiot. What is wrong with this guy? Matt Turner just caught the ball out of the box. Could have just used your freaking feet, settle the ball, bring it into the box, and hold on to it. What is wrong with him? Minute 69. Minute 69. Nice. We've made it. We made it, guys. We made it once again. We made it to 69. Cheers. Cheers to everyone. We made it. We made it. It's a very special moment every single stream when we hit minute 69. Because we're all immature here. We're all immature. And we always giggle when we see minute 69. Or when we just see 69 in general. Cross goes in from James. Cleared by Carter Vickers. Ball goes back in. That'll be a goal kick. Goal kick for the United States. And again, super chat from the game. Schizo is saying Matt Turner is a bum. Yeah, I wouldn't call him a bum. I wouldn't go that far, but I don't know, man. I think we need a better goalkeeper. That's all. I wouldn't call him a bum, but we need a better goalkeeper. He's not good. Not good enough. Just simply not good enough. Burger King. Oh, Sinistera is coming in. Teammate of Tyler Adams. Played with Tyler when he was with Leeds, and now he plays for Bournemouth in England. Burger King is saying we keep deep throating Colombia. We keep deep throating Colombia. Oh, I see what you did there. I see it. We need more tactics. Yeah, the issue is not even tactical at this point. It's just the mentality of this team and a bit of a quality issue. A lot of things to talk about. We'll talk about it more in the post game. There's also the fact that we always play the same way, and we're very predictable, slow, methodical in possession. Yunus Musa is on for Weston McKennie, and Ricardo Pepi is on for Fulling Balogun. Liam is saying distribution went downhill without Ream and Gio Reyna. We became a bit more direct, yes. But it's not like we were doing well in possession in general. We're still in this game, somehow. We're still in this game. Even though Colombia has been quite wasteful in the second half. And here comes Colombia, cuts inside, shot over the net. Colombia wasted a lot of chances after we scored a goal. By the way, tomorrow after I rewatch the game, digest everything that happened, I will be doing the 7 things we learned video on it. And then we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, Ricardo Pepi's on. Ricardo Pepi's on for Balogun. Colombia has been very wasteful ever since we scored our first goal during this 2-1 loss so far. But again, we could still tie the game. Doesn't Cameron Carter-Vickers look like a rugby player? He looks like a rugby player. there's a lot of players here for the national team that you look at them and they look like for example, well, oh shoot, lost possession. Who was that? Musa, Scally, good recovery. Oh, Scally, be careful. Johnny, good, good, good. Who's down? Who lost the ball there? It is Yunus Musa lost possession and he's down. Is it his hand or is it his knee? Let's see. Musa moved. Oh, knee. Oh, knee to knee collision. Richard Rios just hit his knee, hit Yunus Musa's knee. That fucking hurts, man. That hurts very badly. I'm surprised Richard Rios is walking kind of normally, not too normal, but that hurts. It doesn't look like it's an injury. It looks like Musa should be fine. Didn't look like his knee bent back or probably got a ligament, but that hurts badly. Hurts very badly. Hey, Pete.
Hey. We don't really look in this game. Even despite Weah's goal, we really don't look in this game at all. Even especially once we took off Gio, we just haven't. We have not even looked like we're going to do anything, and we've just conceded chance after chance.
No, and it goes back to what we were saying. This team doesn't seem to have the mentality or the grit to really push for it. Colombia was very wasteful after we scored a goal. They could have had like 2 goals.
They should have had 2 more at least.
Yeah. So 2-1 is a little bit misleading, I would say, from the result. But good ball from Balogun and good finish from Weah at least. And
it felt kind of off script, didn't it? It felt like something different. Like they just tried something different on their own time and then scored. Well, you know,
because Balogun came out. Weah was all the way on the left, and then he ran through the middle. It was off script.
Yeah, that felt very off script. And it's like, maybe we should go off script a little more. Gio was starting to play a little higher up the field right before they took him off. That was a little disappointing to see because I wanted to see more of that.
Yeah, it's there's a few positives that we can talk about during the post game. Dive more into it. I think for the most part, I've seen Scally defensively. I've liked it so far. He also made a good tactical foul earlier on, like very clever, knows what he's doing. I thought Johnny was also bright at the 6.
Yes, Haji looked bright early on. It's been more quiet recently. Trying to do too much sometimes it feels, but there had some good moments there.
Balogun having a good moment also in the assist. I thought Balogun was better in the second half. Good assist, finding Weah.
Yeah, when he can come get more involved in the game instead of waiting for a cross, it feels. And also when he drifts a little bit, like when he drifts out of the center into wide areas where he can be more involved in the game, you know.
And did we cross more in the second half? No. Good.
Yeah.
Which that's something very important to keep pointing out because Greg literally said that at halftime that we need to cross more. The team comes back and doesn't do it. That means they're either don't know how to do it or they're just literally not listening to this guy at this point.
Yeah.
Because he told them to cross more. He was quite clear on TV. He's like, we got to cross more.
Yeah. We really haven't done any crossing at all.
The one thing with Scally, though, he's really poor on the ball. Very limited.
Very limited. I think limited. But again, so is A-Rob, right? It's like you don't try to overcomplicate their roles and call them superheroes and all that. You give them simple roles.
And Richard is saying the goalkeeper spot is wide open for 2020. Johnny gave the ball away. Was it a goal? Richard Rios from Palmeiras, 3-1. Johnny lost the ball too. We just complimented him, and he loses the ball, and it leads to a goal.
Yeah, that wasn't good from Johnny. But he also was surrounded by players, and nobody was – I mean, I'm not taking it off Johnny, but he was –
He has to clear it. If you're in that situation, kick it forward. Get rid of it.
Yeah, that was a little immature. But also, Musa's defending there is not great, and then nobody picks up Rios in the box. The problem is we just so look disorganized, you know? We look so disorganized across the board. We give the ball up way too easily.
And that was Sinistera just dancing in front of Musa.
Yeah. Bounced off Cameron Carter-Vickers. He was trying to block it. But dude, who's marking him? Who's on Rios? Whose job was that?
I guess Carter Vickers could have been closer.
It's hard because we also don't know like who's supposed to be marking who as those changes come on, or who's. It's just we don't feel organized at the back, right?
And then Richard saying, yeah, the goalkeeper position is wide open. La Criatura's joking, obviously, saying bring on Shaq Moore and Morris. Morris is not in the roster, but Shaq Moore's available, man. He can put Shaq Moore. Victor is saying it's time we send in Shaq Moore to save us. Help us, Shaq Moore. You're our only hope. I'm also going to say one thing. 3-1 is still better than what this could have been. It could have easily been a 4-1 win. Well, I mean, it's also not over, so I better shut my mouth.
Yeah. But this kind of reminds me of the Netherlands game where we're just never really in it, right? It reminds me of that where it's just like they have us pegged. They know exactly how to stop us. They don't overcomplicate things. You know what I mean? It just feels like that. They keep it simple. They're never really under any duress, and we just look terrible.
It almost felt like once we scored that goal, they're like, okay, guys, time to play again. They scored. Let's go. And then they came after us. Diaz hit the post. Oh, boy. We look, I'm trying to think of the word to use here. We look harmless, I think is a word.
Neutered, I think is.
Yeah, right. Neutered maybe. It's just it doesn't seem like these teams that are a bit better, they're not threatened by us. They're like,
no, they don't fear us at all.
Yeah, man, it's a good way to start the summer, taking a big fat L right away. And again, this doesn't really make us optimistic for the Uruguay game in the group stage, for example. And then we also have to figure out, like, how does this team behave against a bunkering
Bolivia?
Bolivia and Panama.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to figure out because neither of these teams, Colombia or Brazil, are bunkering against us. But we've seen what it looks like when we bunker, or when other teams bunker against us. Sorry. All right, I'm gonna run to the bathroom and then get ready for the post game real quick here. Okay.
I'll see you in 10 minutes.
All right.
Roughly. See you soon, Pete. Yeah, the problem with this game today is it does really feel like the Netherlands game quite a bit. And the main issue is if we advance from the group, which I think we will advance from the group, we are expected to probably play Colombia and Brazil. Colombia to me is better than Brazil is better than Colombia, in my opinion. And when you put it this way, after this performance and the way we played and how Colombia behaved, it's very hard to be optimistic for that matchup. Very hard. It just never really felt like we were legitimately in it. Just like Michael was saying there in the super chat, there are shades of the Netherlands game here. It never felt like the U.S. was really into this game. Into it in the sense of like having a legitimate shot of winning. They were into it. The players were focused. Just never felt like we had a shot. Which is odd because we talked about this. Colombia is a very good team. But this is not a World Cup contender. It's not Brazil and Argentina. You shouldn't oh, boy. Almost number 4. Is he off? Yeah, he might be off. What is going on here? Oh, he's off. He's off. But they're still playing. Okay. The play goes on. Okay, now the ref decided to stop. This was a bit weird. Okay, and then Jeff Carey is saying, we have almost nothing when Gio's out. We have a lot less in possession when Gio Reyna's out, that's for sure. We have a lot less in possession when Gio Reyna. The thing is, Gio was surprisingly good defensively today also. He stopped Colombia a few times in the counterattack, and he was helping defend and pressing. I thought Gio defensively looked good too today, which that to me is one of his weaknesses, but he did fine. Did totally fine there. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. We're going to end this game with the loss. Hopefully, I just hope we don't concede another goal My main issue with it, conceding another goal, is the morale of this team. It will sink. You can't lose 4-1 here. It's not going to look good at home. 3-1's already bad enough. They're asking, how's the United States 11th in the world? Well, that's the FIFA rankings. So we get points for beating Mexico quite a bit. But that's why. We're not. The United States is not the 11th best national team in the world. That they're not. Okay. I wish we were, but we're not. And then everyone, once again, this Tuesday, we will be doing a pickup game for the YouTube members and Patreon members here in Orlando as the United States faces Brazil. We're going to do the pickup game with Tactical Manager jerseys on Tuesday. If you want to join our Patreon and help the community and be part of this, help us fund these events and all of that and the jersey giveaways, feel free to join our Patreon. The link is in the description. If not, I'll try to open to the public also the game so everyone can have fun. The problem is I rented out the fields and I can only have it for 2 hours. And I'm just trying to do something for everyone that is supporting the channel. In the future, what I'm going to try to do is try to get a sponsor. Underdog Fantasy helped with the jersey, but I want to get a sponsor so we can actually do pickup games for free. I want to get people to play more for free. That's what I want to try to do. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it this time. Carter Vickers with the ball, but eventually I'll be able to do it. Tim Weah, oh boy, he lost it again, out of the back. Colombia, that's 4-1. Stop the count. Stop. Fuck this shit, man. Seriously. This is a joke. We're losing 4-1 to Colombia at home. We're losing 4-1 to Colombia at home. I can't, man. It's time, man. Fire Berhalter. (4-1) Colombia at home. I can't, man. I'm kind of lost for words right now because we're gonna keep this mother liquor, Greg Berhalter, all the way till 2026, and this team continues to play like ass. Everyone's like, oh boy, 5 minutes to go. We're down 4-1 against Colombia. How are we gonna look against Brazil on Wednesday? How are we gonna do in the Copa America? For the 300th time, Berhalter out for the 300th time. I can't deal with this shit anymore, man. And I don't know. It could get worse. It could get worse. And here comes Colombia again. Carter Vickers clears it. This is such a bad team. How many shit results will Berhalter have to get fired? How many shit results will he have to get fired? We keep talking about this. The American players, everyone that watches the U.S. men's national team players play in Europe every week knows their level is higher than this. Why does everyone look like hot garbage every time they're under Berhalter? With some very rare exceptions. Very rare exception. Why is this always the case? And yes, the players were crap today for the most part, with some rare exceptions. Once again, La Verdad is saying falling into every one of their traps. Sad for all. Yeah, it's always like this, man. And Vego, I'm gonna skip yours. Deviant Films, go game from CONCACAF Ancelotti. Go game from CONCACAF Ancelotti. Yeah, remember? Do you guys remember when Brian McBride implied that that oh, and here comes Colombia again. Oh shit. Is that five? Is there a mercy rule? 5. 5. Five one. We're losing 5-1 at home to Colombia. We are literally losing 500, 5-1 at home to Colombia. This is not a World Cup contending team. This is not Brazil. This is not Argentina. God, this is not even Uruguay. And we're losing 5-1. 5-1. Anyone that has been following the U.S. men's national team for long enough, not even that long, let's say 15 years. That's not that long, right? 15 years. We used to be a proper national team with some grit, some fight, and we would be able to grind out results and make it tough for everyone. Now we are this shit show with better players. We are down 5-1 to Colombia in the United States of America. I am telling you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to like digest what is going on. Michael's saying at least we scored. Yeah, we scored, but allowed 5 goals. And here comes Musa in transition for the U.S. Finds Ricardo Pepi that decides to pass it back. And who took that awful touch? Johnny did. Awful touch. Was it Johnny? I don't even know anymore. Yeah, it might have been. Terrible touch. Pepi recovers the ball. Zardes didn't die for this. Zardes. Completely forgot Zardes existed, man. Weah also took the ball away from Weah. Philip McCreevy is saying, will Greg Berhalter be sacked if we lay an egg in the Copa America? One can hope. One can hope. What does this guy have to do to get fired? We barely qualified to the World Cup. There was a domestic violence case against him, sure, 20, 30 years ago, whatever, but there was. He shouldn't be in a position of power, in my opinion. And he sucked ass for like 5 years. Sucked terrible ass. Like he sucked ass with diarrhea. He sucked it and licked it after, full of diarrhea, man. This was a disgusting performance from the national team here once again, and never felt like we were in this game. We lose 5-1. We continue to be terrible under Greg Berhalter. There's a lot to blame on the players, but why do they always look worse under Berhalter? Let me go through the super chats here real quick, and then we're gonna go. We're gonna go to 11 Yanks to talk about it. Jeff Carey saying, "Bring Ryan Reynolds for U.S. Soccer." The game is almost over here, is it? Yeah, it's over already. E13B saying, "What is Berhalter's contract?" I don't know. It's till 2026 as far as we know. But who knows? Might be till 2030. Might be forever. Just fire this moron. Ronaldo saying, "Hey, Tack, how many U.S. fans would you say is there?" Probably like 25% of the stadium. What is it, 50,000? So probably like 5 to 10,000 Americans. Probably 10,000. Tack, my boy, end the stream. Not yet. Gonna end the stream. It's the same reason why England looks bad in games. Yes, Gareth Southgate. Guys, please stop sending the super chat so I can end the stream. Danny Sanchez, thank you also for the super chat. Stephen Agishi saying they deserve to lose and what they got today. Yes, yeah, fair game for Colombia. The game Chitzo says Mexico fans spamming the chat right now. Yep, they can enjoy the moment. Landon Donovan 73 say because you had to suffer and talk through this whole game without breaking anything and keep talking. Thank you, Landon, for the super chat. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Vegon 26, coincidence, you skipped my comment and they scored. Okay, I remember your comment. Yeah. What a pass. Absolutely shocking from Yote. This U.S. team ain't it. Zachary Johnson. Steven Spada, streaming trash pile of a game. Terrible play. Yeah, it was terrible. We'll talk about it at 11 Yanks in a second. Unretired Tim Howard and Lyndon Donovan. That won't help, man. We can literally just change our coach, and trust me, it'll improve a lot if we change the coach. Will Greg saying, I almost hate Greg as much as Kendrick hates Drake. I didn't follow the Kendrick Drake drama, so I don't know much about it, but I'll go with what you're saying. The Guys podcast is saying, I'm sorry, Tack, but this wasn't on Greg. Players are just trash and overhyped. I agree that it's not all on Greg. It's also on the players, but it's up to Greg to get the best out of these players. And these players look better for their clubs. Can we agree on that? Do they look better? Does A-Rob look better for Fulham? Does Pulisic look better for Milan? Does Johnny look better for Real Betis? So it's all of that we can talk about in the stream. Pigeon is saying, at least we scored. USMNT fan proceeds to get scored 5 to 12 seconds later. Yeah, 5 goals. We allowed 5 goals. We lost 5-1 to Colombia. Augustus Alexander, at any point, if it's ever an option, just merge CONCACAF and CONMEBOL. CONCACAF absolutely stinks and needs better competition regularly. CONCACAF is the worst confederation in the world outside of Oceania. It's the worst, period. And then Silver, thank you for the super chat as well. Everyone, thank you everyone that supported the stream. Thank you everyone that hit the like button and everything. Joined our Patreon. The link is in the description. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for sponsoring the stream. Let's all go to the 11 Yanks channel. 11 Yanks channel for the post game. I'll see you guys there. And as I said multiple times, Berhalter out. Okay, see you guys in a second. Ciao. And just because Karl Marx, the communist, sent this, I would argue 5-1 is worse than 4-0. Same beast, different animal. You're just arguing which pile of shit is smaller, I guess. They're both piles of shit. Okay, bye.